Every day I wake up waiting out the door. Nintendo news I can't ignore. Hovering my finger on refresh, repeat. Searching for the leak, my heart's gotta beat. My body is ready for Switch 2. Can't wait much longer, what about you? Standing in line just to hear something new. Nintendo, come on, give us a clue. Rumors flying, but nothing confirmed. It's been a mystery, my patience burned. Gotta level up with my imagination in this endless game and stimulation. Whoa, my body is ready for Switch 2. Can't wait much longer, what about you? Standing in line just to hear something new. Nintendo, come on, give us a clue. All we want's a peek, a hint, or a sigh. Just a little nod won't make us cry. Joy-Cons at the ready, hearts in sync. Nintendo dragging on, making us think. We've been resetting time and time again. Our love for Mario, it never ends. Zelda's gathered from the nether horizon. This weight is harder than fighting in us think. My body is ready for Switch 2. Whoa, 2. Can't wait much longer, what about you? About you. Standing in line just to hear something new. Nintendo, come on, give us a clue. My body is ready. My body is ready. My body is ready. My body is ready for Switch 2. My body is red. My body is red for Switch 2.
All right, everyone, welcome to the Nintenbyte Podcast, episode 35. That was, again, Mike Odyssey saw 2 weeks in a row. That was an accident that time. I had the normal intro, but you know what? We are talking about Switch 2 again, right? Like, yeah, whatever. It is what it is. And the singer-songer extraordinaire is on the show, so don't feel that too bad. By the way, you can watch that song on demand, listen to it on demand anytime you want. Just go subscribe to Mike Odyssey's channel. He's got it up. Ready to go.
iTunes.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. See? Go get it on iTunes, baby. Let's go. Welcome, everyone. This is obviously kind of basically our Christmas episode. Well, you didn't do it on Christmas. Technically, the podcast landed on Christmas, but we're like, we got shit going on. So here we are the day after Christmas. We got our, kind of ugly sweater contest. 2 of us have the sweater. One's rocking Boxing Day attire, and the other one said, you know what, I got a red suit jacket, so that's what I'm throwing on. So you know what, you're going to vote for who dressed the best today. We'll put that poll up here in a little bit. It's just for bragging rights at the end. So it is what it is. Let's just go around the room quick and introduce everyone that we have here today. We got a little 4-pack for you guys. Mike Odyssey is back on. How's it going, buddy?
What's up? It's going good. Christmas was good. A lot of food. Great to be back.
That's awesome. Coming back for the first time in like 6 months. He hasn't been on since June. Holy crap, he's still alive. Game Bird Classic.
The bird is back, baby. And I'm happy to be here. Happy to talk Switch 2. Thanks for having me on again. Mike, good to see you. The Stash Man. I was just telling him how I wish I could get my stash like that. But when it comes to the contest, it's game on, baby.
All right. Man, I didn't even do pantalones, and I'm already dropping the Matthew McConaughey. Understash Gaming, how we doing, man?
Excellent. Very good. just like Mike said, it's been real busy. Had hosted Christmas Eve, hosted Christmas back to back. One side of the family, the other side of the family on Christmas. Just been busy, man, getting ready for all of that. Supporting the lady with all the baking and the cooking, doing a lot of dishes, putting a lot of lotion on my hands afterwards because I'm using so much soap, man. No, for real. Like your hands start cracking, right? So
Yep.
it's just like, oh my God, just nonstop cleaning. But that's over now and I'm ready. I'm ready for 2025. Right? We all are. Our bodies are ready.
Oh, baby. The first of the year. Holy crap.
Yeah, we're almost here, man. Our
Dude.
next episode is
Is-
on New Year's Day, right?
Yeah, New Year's Day night. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wild.
So, yeah, just excited, man. That's where I'm at right now. I'm still playing Metaphor. I came very close to being able to beat it before Christmas, but I had to lock in on everything else.
Oh, sure.
So I'm
sure.
about 130, I think 130 hours in right now.
Damn.
You're gonna beat
There
it before
you
the
go.
new year?
Yes,
Okay. I know the goal was by Christmas, but the game's long. What are you gonna do?
it is long, and I just decided I gotta do my part some more.
You can't just ignore the family forever and just put it all on the wife.
Yeah.
All right. And you guys know who I'm at this point. I'm Nathaniel Rufflejance, a.k.a. Nintendo Prime. Couple notes before we started the show. No Nintendo Talk this week. It just has more holiday stuff going on. It happens. It's that time of year. Totally understandable. And this is on an odd night anyways. And unfortunately, Eric is not here, and he probably won't be on next week. And I don't know when he's going to return. He is dealing with a death in the family. His grandfather passed away on Christmas Eve. So he's been having a very, very hard time. So I just want to throw that out there. And as for everyone in the chat yelling edibles, I already took it. I took it like 20 minutes ago. So yeah, the Christmas stream yesterday went a little wild, and then edible got earned for the podcast. So I'm already flying a little bit. And we only have 2 hosts this week, so I got to host 2 topics. This is going to be fun. Speaking of the topics, Thunderstash Gaming, why don't you go ahead and snag one here?
I will take what gaming / work related goodies that we got for the holiday.
Oh, look at that. That's a great one to start out with,
It is a
baby.
good one.
Gosh, here. I will take. All right, let's stick with the kind of theme here. What was our favorite Nintendo game in 2024 and why? And we're going to be grading Nintendo's year this year. Kind of an interesting year for them in 2020.
Okay.
And Stash, what do you got for the next?
Well, I mean, I got to keep it the tradition. Okay. So that means I'm going to take dealer's choice, and I don't know what I'm going to do yet.
That's all right. You got time to figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll go dealer's choice and give you the Switch 2 rumor roundup because there's a lot of them.
Dude, yeah. I got the Switch 2 rumor roundup. You guys already see some of the stuff in the title. We got a potential reveal date. We got photos of stuff. A brand new one today as well about who might be making the commercial music, the trailer music for the reveal, or at least one of the commercials or something. I don't know. We'll get into that as well. Dude, there's a lot of stuff happening as we get closer and closer to the reveal that I fully believe is next month based on what I was told, but we'll see what happens. Maybe it'll be like what Mike said. It'll be an announcement of a reveal. That's what he said. That's what Mike said last week. Well, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
February 4th investors meeting. We'll see what goes down. Remember that last investors meeting, there was no reveal yet, and Nintendo still gave us Switch 2 news.
Yeah.
I mean, Nintendo's ready, baby. They've been ready. As the song says, my body's ready for Switch 2. Speaking of that, let's go over to Thunderstash Gaming. And what are we talking about right now?
Okay, so Christmas. What did we get for it? Now, at my age, I don't really get Christmas gifts like video game Christmas gifts. I don't know about you guys, but I think everyone's kind of thrown in the towel on that. And they've decided that Steve's probably going to buy whatever he wants that's video game related. How can I find something that he doesn't already have that he wants. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm tough to shop for when it comes to that. But I did get myself something. Okay. So thankfully this came in on the 23rd from DHL. This came from China. And I had to wait quite a while for this. And I was surprised to even get it. So I'm actually pulling it out of its shell right now. This is the box that it came in.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, a Retroid.
And I'm not allowing myself to play it yet because I have to beat a metaphor first. I have to have some discipline. I got to beat that and I got to do the review. And then I can work on, of course, getting this all set up. But this is it right here. This is an OLED screen.
Ooh.
And from everything I've seen about this, all the videos I've watched, the reviews, everything, this baby is awesome. I'm very much looking forward to getting it all set up, getting the like retro achievements set up with all the different game consoles. A game that just came out a few days ago. You guys might know about it. It takes place in outer space with a fox. You guys familiar with it?
Never heard of
Yeah.
it.
There's a lot of stars around.
It's called
I don't-
Firefox.
Firefox.
Yeah, Firefox
Yeah.
64. First game to use the Rumble Pack. That just came out on, of course, PC, which I don't know if you guys have seen that,
I did.
but I did, and I'll be playing that on this. So I'm pretty excited to fire that baby up. So that's what I got. I would say that's the main thing that I got. I don't want to count anything for Black Friday. That's pretty much a Christmas gift to me and to the community because I'm going to do some videos on that. So outside of that, I got some video game related gifts for my family. I don't know if you guys saw that Mario that it's Mario, I guess you could say doll. Is that what we call it? I mean, it's bigger than an action figure.
Collectible.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you know, it talks. It's the one where you can move the arms and it says like 30 different phrases.
What? Where?
Oh, it's a Target exclusive, dude. So
I need to get it.
I had ordered the Mario and they sent me the Mario movie Mario. Okay. They're the same price, same exact price. I'm like, this is not the one I want. I want the one that talks.
Target.com.
Because it's for my godson, and it's like, you know, he's 5 years old, and it's a lot cooler, obviously, if it talks, right?
Yeah.
And it makes all the sound effects, the music. So obviously, I put in another order online,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to get free shipping, so I picked up this nice Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past mug
there
from.
it is.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet, actually. I was like, this is awesome. So, actually, I guess you can count that as a video game related gift for myself.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so got him that. And then I got him the Bowser that breathes fire. Have you guys seen that? It's like vapor, the water vapor.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh,
I see that one. Yep.
Got that all hooked up, you know, put in the batteries and the water and turned it on. And he was just like, oh my God, like he was freaking out. He loves the Mario movie, of course. And his birthday's coming up actually in like 3 weeks. So I picked up his birthday gifts as well. Just picked up the Sonic the Hedgehog collectible doll that also speaks and has sound effects and all that good stuff. So that's really what I do for video game related gifts. It's for my godson and my friends' kids. I usually get them video games.
Sure.
Mike, what about you? What do you got, brother?
Dude, man, I got bad news. The Mario, it's a me Mario figure from Target is out of stock in my area.
I figured, man, it was hard to get. It was really tough.
It's a good one. It's a good one. Well, I got myself, or my wife got me. I got myself something I've been wanting for a long, long time. I bought a cheap one a long time ago. It came out horrible, and I threw it away. A 3D printer, like
Yeah.
state of the art 3D printer. With those closed ones with the door and then the app and stuff.
Yep.
So I'm gonna be printing be printing Switch 2 mock-ups like insanely crazy and sending everybody a Switch 2 mock-up.
You better be first on that list, Mike.
Yeah. Um, not only that, I took all of the images from today. I sent them to my 3D guy. He's making me the CADs so that I can print it and test it and like do comparisons with the docs and stuff like that. So at least I have the doc. I had the 3D CADs before for the actual Switch, but I didn't have the doc one, and so see if I get that before, and I can print that up and make videos and stuff. And I'll share the stuff with you guys. Got that. What else did I get? Got gift cards for Amazon. That's like the lazy gift you always get every single Christmas, right? What else? I think that's it. That's it. Yeah,
All right.
I'm more. The 3D printing thing was a surprise. I like to give more than receive. I don't know how to receive things. I'm like, you can give me something like thank you, because I don't know how to receive things. I like to give more, So yeah, I celebrated my anniversary on the 23rd, 18 years.
Wow.
Hell yeah, dude.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Yeah, 18 years on the 23rd. Christmas and my wife's birthday on the same day. So I had to, it's 3 gifts: anniversary gift, and then Christmas gift, and then my wife's birthday gift. So yeah, it was a fun weekend. All
right. Gamebird, how about you, buddy?
Yeah, this was one of those weird years. I feel like I normally always get like a few like Nintendo related items on Christmas, and this year I didn't. Not really any. I've got a couple gifts with me right now, but they're not channel or gaming related, but I guess I could show them off.
Sure.
Go for it, you guys familiar with Nicolas Cage at all?
Of course.
Oh.
Of course.
Yeah.
Come on.
I got this really nice Nicolas Cage toy kit.
Oh my God.
Oh, dude, that's
Yes!
great.
Sleeping with
So
that
that's-
tonight, are we?
Every night. And then I got 2 Nicolas Cage gifts this year. Interesting enough, this nice mug with Nick Cage coming out of a
Coming out of banana.
banana peel.
Banana. Did you see Raising Arizona?
Of course, yeah.
One of his first movies.
So I got caged this Christmas for sure.
Nick Cage.
But and then my kids, they got a little Nintendo Advent calendar, and they gave me one of the figures from it. They were fought over the figures each day, but no one wanted the Goomba, and there was a little Goomba on a warp pipe. So I got this one on my little office desk. But I'm probably going to use some of the gift cards and stuff. I want to get a gimbal for my camera, so when I do some of my shorts and sketches and stuff, I could do a little bit more on the production side than what I have now. But yeah.
All right.
That is cool.
So I got a few items. I'm gonna say the last couple for the end because they're gaming related. But the big thing I got, shout out to the old parents, got some
AirPod.
AirPod, the Pros, the new ones, USB-C charging. I had some, but they went through the wash machine and didn't work anymore. So my parents found out about that, and they're like, "So what do you wear like when you work out and go on walks?" Nothing. I just blast the music, and you either hear it and like it or you don't.
Yeah. Dude,
So-
now you can use them as hearing aids.
yes, I know. Yeah, I know that too. Yeah, if my ringing gets worse, I have.
That's what I pretty much use mine for.
yeah, exactly.
Anyway, I got them. I haven't opened them yet, but yeah, I'm very happy about that. A work related thing is what's in this box. If you guys have ever seen images of my studio behind the scenes, I have one consistent problem. I have a massive cable mess. It's
Ooh.
really bad. So, some cable management things.
Oh, nice.
So, got that from my dad because again, He's like,
Oh,
"What
yeah.
are you doing?"
good.
I'm like, "Dude, my desk is in the middle of the room. What you want me to do?" like this is my like it's in the middle of the room, so the cords are in the middle of the nah, we're fixing that. So
Yeah.
all right. There's that. I already have some runners for the floor, but I don't want them all on the floor. That's the problem. There's too many cords. So there's that. This is just a personal one. Again, from the parents, they spoiled me this year a bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys know I love the Bucks. You guys also know I love basketball in general, and like to shoot and play hoops. And I prefer in a gym, but I'll do outside. It's fine.
We got to a soccer.
But I haven't bought basketball shoes probably since high school. So my basketball shoes are wrecked and have been wrecked. And last time I went to actually play in a league, I was slipping all over the place. I should have just worn my tennis shoes.
Mhm.
So we got the Zoom Freak 5s.
Ah, nice.
Nice.
Very nice.
Giannis Antetokounmpo's shoe brand. First time I've ever had a named player shoe brand that wasn't a Jordan. So pretty excited about that. You got the box. I love shoes, but like I don't
I do
ever
too.
buy them, but I love them. I love them. Anyways, that might be a new addition someday where I have a whole dedicated shoe room. All right, now we
I got
yeah.
I was just gonna say I got a pair of those when they did like the Mario anniversary shoes with Puma. I got a pair of the NES
nice.
ones, but I'm too scared. They're so pretty that I've never worn them. Like I'm just like they're such nice shoes. I'm like I don't want to dirty it. So I've got it on one of my shelves.
Yeah,
back
I will
there,
put that
but-
on the shelf too.
I
Right move.
think I've told you guys before, but I got the Vans.
Oh, the
Nintendo
Vans.
shoes that came out like what,
That was a
10,
while ago.
15 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a handful of them.
That's awesome.
And I picked up the Puma PlayStation shoes last year. I don't know if you guys saw those.
I saw those. Yep.
Yeah, pretty sick. So yeah, I love it when
cool.
they come out with video game related shoes. I used to have these Nike SBs that were Tetris. Have you guys ever seen those? There's literally it was literally the Nike SB Tetris shoes.
Yeah.
I'm talking like I bought these I think in 2000 probably 4. So like a long time ago when they were brand new.
Mhm.
Wish I could get those again.
Yeah. All right. So I got 2 more items. One was kind of a surprise. I mean, I knew it was probably coming. It's for a sponsored video, but it literally arrived on Christmas. I didn't even realize the packages get dropped off on Christmas. So I don't know what was going on. But I'm using it right now. It is the Nixie GameCube themed.
Oh, yes.
So I'm doing a sponsored video on this. If I like it, I can tell you right now, I do like it so far. There's a bunch of other accessories in the box. It doesn't come with a wrist rest. So that's something I'm gonna have to buy, which is fine. Not all keyboards come with them. But I do that is something I do need for any sort of mechanical keyboard because there's a little height to them.
Yeah.
So I'll buy that separate because I want to make sure I have that before I do the review because I don't want to be negative to them because they don't have one. That's not like a standard thing. Not all keyboards come with a wrist rest. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to find myself a GameCube. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try to find a GameCube themed wrist rest if I can to kind of go along with it.
Mhm.
I'm sure there's one somewhere. If not, there's at least a purple one. I can maybe purple match it, but yeah, pretty excited about it. It's a mechanical keyboard. It's very quiet, so I got to see what switches it's using, and I'm pretty excited. I needed a second keyboard anyway, so it kind of just worked out. It's wireless, also wired, so you can do it either or. So
that is awesome.
I have to install the software. So like the
I've got
volume
the-
doesn't work right now because I don't have the
Oh,
software.
you got the
NES
8-bit
one.
though? NES.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So I'm pretty happy with this so far. Just gotta get the wrist rest, and then I'll install the software and figure out what some of the unique features it has. Anyways, that being said, it's just really cool that every time I come in and I do my live streams, here I'm sitting here, I'm like, dude, I got a fucking GameCube in front of me. This is sick.
That's so rad.
It literally just feels like it. Like come on, the arrow keys are the C buttons, baby. They're yellow. Oh man, I love it. Anyways, but that was like a surprise. That's for a sponsored video.
Yeah.
Not really Christmas, but it arrived on Christmas. Now, my grandmother, bless her soul, gave me, the traditional gift card sort of gift, right? So today I had to go use it. And this is where you guys might know what my favorite franchise of all time is. And I just feel like, you guys know I have to wear hats. And the problem is all my Zelda hats are wrecked. So I had to get some new ones.
Mhm.
So we got this all black edition.
Nice.
All black edition. And then for the first time ever, I don't know what I'm going to wear it with. Probably some Bucks gear. But we got a nice green one as well.
I like that.
Oh, yeah. So I'm pretty excited about that. That is thanks to the old grandma. So thank you so much, grandma, for the gift card. I was able to buy stuff I actually want for once instead of stuff I need. So that was that's I'm not used to going to stores. Like literally, I was like, honey, I should probably use this gift card and like put gas in the car or something. She's like, I swear to Christ, if you use a gift card from your grandma for Christmas for gas,
Mhm.
I'm going to strangle you. Buy something for yourself. She didn't give you a gift card to put gas in your car.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Fine, I'll buy myself something because I literally never buy myself stuff. You guys might think because all this stuff, dude, all these decorations are like from my parents' house. They leave once we get to January 1st. I don't buy jack shit for myself. So, yeah, this is awesome. So I'm very happy to get those Zelda hats into the mix. Every hat I have, by the way, has been gifted to me. Outside of this Bucks hat, I did buy this one because it went with the sweatshirt. But again, that was with a gift card. It was a gift card for a store. I didn't have a choice. I had to spend it at that store. All right. That being said, yeah, I think that's it. I don't think we have anything else to really talk about in terms of the holiday season stuff here for what we got. No games this year, guys. Sorry. It's one of those things that when I'm a YouTuber and I play as many games, I kind of just buy the games when I need them or want them.
Yeah.
So people don't really gift me that kind of stuff. So I tell them they can give me Amazon or GameStop gift cards and stuff or eShop cards, and they just never do. They figure, but Nate, you just buy everything anyways. I'm like, well, yeah, but you can help me buy future things.
Right.
Like you can give me a GameStop gift card that I could totally use to help pre-order Switch 2.
Yeah.
Well, that's all right.
Oh, you know what? I did get one other thing.
Ooh.
It was a gift though that I gave
Okay.
to my lady. Got her the My Sims cozy collection. She loves the Sims, so she was super excited about that. Of course,
Awesome.
I think she's actually playing right now.
All right. I guess we can get into our next topic, and this is the kind of the one that rounds out the years. This is also doubling as our final podcast of the year. So what was our favorite Nintendo game in 2024 and why? And then we can grade Nintendo. For me, like the choice is obvious. It's Echoes of Wisdom. I love Zelda. It is what it is. That's my favorite Zelda. Like not my favorite Zelda game, but my favorite game to come out this year. Nintendo had, well, see, I say that because my game of the year is actually Emio. Famicom Detective Club. Where's Emio? I really enjoyed that game a lot, and I rank it higher than Zelda, but I can't put Zelda below anything if I'm going to talk about my personal favorite, even though I do like Emio better. So it's very weird that I'm picking Zelda, but I don't care. Shout out to Emio. Just pick them both. Tie them at the top. I don't give a shit. The rest of the year, I thought, just to kind of give a grade, this is obviously a down year for Nintendo, I would say, overall. Just because they didn't have their big guns. They had Zelda and they had Mario Party. Those are notable, but it was a top-down Zelda, and it was also the third Mario Party this generation. Granted, to me, the best of the three, but still the third iteration, right? So it's not as exciting that third time around for a lot of people, even though it is, again, the best Mario Party, I think, on the system. That being said, you had Princess Peach Showtime. Obviously, we had the Famicom Detective Club ports at the beginning of the year. We had or the remasters. No, it wasn't. Those wasn't the Famicom Detective Club. It was a. Now I'm forgetting. I just had it at the tip of my tongue. There was some 1 and 2 collection at the beginning of the year.
The Recollection.
Yeah, the Recollection. Yeah. Yeah. So we had that. Obviously, guys, we had 1,000 Year Door this year. And so like there was a number of really solid games, but this was the year that like Nintendo really relied on ports and remasters, and then a few new games. The new ones mostly being Princess Peach Showtime, Echoes of Wisdom, and Jamboree. Those were like the 3 really big new ones. And then we had Endless Ocean, obviously slip in there. And then one more. I was just talking about Emio, Famicom Detective Club. Everything else is kind of like ports and remasters.
Yeah.
So none of those, by the way, are like big games. Like none of them outside of Mario Party was going to sell over 10 million. Which is crazy that we're talking about like that's a standard, but this generation with Nintendo, that's a standard. Yep, that's a big game for Nintendo. You sell less than that, you're like a middle of the road game for Nintendo. Not a bad thing, but Nintendo's had a crazy gen. So I would say that this to me, is probably the worst year for Nintendo Switch, but also an understandable one. Like I'm not as harsh on it because they announced the successor's coming this year. They announced that back in May. They said it's coming in 2025, or at least there will be an announcement for it by the end of the fiscal year. So we know that. We're pretty sure that it's for sure coming out next year. So that means that this is a transition year. Nintendo's already publicly talking about the system. They're talking about backwards compatibility with the system. So with all of that considered, this is the best transition year Nintendo's ever had. Because Nintendo usually has nothing. You remember what their big game in 2016 was?
Yeah.
Color Splash.
A Mario Party.
And then the biggest news was, besides announcing the Switch, was we have discontinued the Wii U.
So funny, right? That was the fastest continue ever.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's an NES Classic, and they try to make up for it in other ways, but the point is Nintendo is really bad with transitions. They do not give us a bunch of games, and you know what? We've had a game every single month. We just had Fitness Boxing 3 in December, so like they've given us a game every month. Might not always be the biggest of games, but it's way the hell better than we've ever gotten before from Nintendo in a transition year. So while it is maybe for me the worst year of Switch, it's also the best transition year ever, and that has maintained their 127 million active users on Switch. So Nintendo is doing what they needed to do, maintain the user base into the next system. So I give them an A+ for a transition year, but personally, this is kind of like a C+ year for me. But hey, Echoes of Wisdom and Emio, they're carrying the load for me right now.
Yeah.
Love those games.
It's still good.
So Mike, what are you thinking about this year?
Dude, I mean, I agree with you that it is the best closing any console I think any console has ever had. I feel Nintendo
Challenging PlayStation on that. PlayStation's got some banger close years.
I'm challenging gaming altogether. Everybody, PC, even PC.
Might be a little bias in this statement.
I'm one first party game every single month for an entire year. PlayStation is not doing that. Xbox is not doing that. PC, of course, is not doing that.
Sure. But PlayStation, and I think wasn't PlayStation 4's final year before PS5 came out? Did they have like Last of Us something? And then they had we had GTA 5.
Yeah.
We know that was back in the 360. God, that was even the generation before at the end. No, they also had Ghost of Tsushima. And I think there was one other. They had like 3 really massive games come out right before PS5 came out. That's why I'm like, those would be like system selling kind of games, and they dropped when the new system's coming.
I mean, Nintendo for its last year to go ahead and break the rule and say, you know what, I'm gonna give you a playable Zelda this year. Like what
is that breaking a rule? Don't we get Zelda every year?
Kind of like reverse the roles. Instead of Link being the savior, Zelda being there, the main. Not okay. Let me rephrase that, because Zelda has never been a damsel in distress. She's actually been very powerful throughout the franchise. The games that I've played so far, right? In Breath of the Wild, she was there holding Ganon for 100 years while Link took a nap, right? And so it took a couple hours for Link to beat Ganon, but Zelda was there holding him back. And Echoes of Wisdom, Tears of the Kingdom, she went to the past, back to the future kind of thing. And, did her thing over there. She turned into a dragon and sacrificed herself while Link over here took a nap. And then, of course, now in Echoes of Wisdom, was her very first game where she was a protagonist. And I enjoyed that game like no other. It was such a fun experience to have her there. It felt so natural. I was just playing the game. It felt like I'm playing a Zelda game, right? Nothing felt out of place. Everything was great. The dungeons, the worlds, the enemies, even the echoes and all that stuff. Everything felt like it's natural, like it should be, like it was supposed to be, or it's been. I think that, to me, that's my game of the year. Let me see. I'm looking through the list here to see if I can find anything else.
I
Yeah,
just off the top of my head, I was like, man, they had a lot of games come out. Just none of them were like super exciting for me. You know?
yeah, they did. I think the most exciting one for me, other than Zelda, was Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, just because I didn't play it before. To
Mm,
me, it was a new experience.
all new experience. Yeah, great
Yeah,
as an experience.
and not only that, but also another new experience for me, a brand new experience for me, just because my disability, I don't play games on handheld mode. Is Mario and Luigi making its
Mm,
debut on the big screen, right, for the
right.
first time on console rather than mobile. And so Mario
Love
and
it, baby.
Luigi, yeah, Mario and Luigi was another big experience. Although I hear people, oh yeah, I like Mario and Luigi are better in other games where you can control Mario with the B and Luigi with the whatever. I'm like, this is my first experience with it. I enjoyed it. I loved it. Um, but yeah, man, I think Nintendo is where they are now because how whoever's in the marketing team up there, whoever makes the choices and how to separate the games and how to, make sure that every single month there is a game. Sometimes we get a little rest, but then that doesn't really turn out to be a rest. We get an endless ocean when people love. Although it wasn't my type of game, it got a good reviews from people, right? Then we got another Recollection Code, which is to start the year. It was good for some people. Marvel's Donkey Kong was also good. Princess Peach was also another brand new kind of experience with Peach. You know, um, Nintendo's been just killing it, man. That's why I'm so excited for Switch 2 because we owe this year, the last year of Nintendo being this good to the fact that we don't have a 3DS. We no longer have a handheld and a home console. We have them both in one, and so that's why Nintendo can release more games one after the other. We have no gaps, and so that's why I believe it kind of contributes to this being one of the best kind of closings of all time. And it's not over. It's not over. Closing is not over. Metro Prime 4 is still around the corner. Okay.
Closing time.
Xenoblade Chronicles 10 Definitive Edition is finally making it to Switch. This is not over by a long shot.
No, this isn't the end.
This is Nintendo's last Nintendo Switch's last full year, right? But next year they'll be sharing the stage with well, maybe they'll be backstage kind of in the shadows to Nintendo Switch 2. But man, it's not over. We still need a game for February. We still need a game maybe for April, another one for May, right? For Nintendo Switch. I think there'll probably be ports, but when it comes to closing the door on Nintendo Switch, man, nobody has done it like Nintendo this year. So man, excitement, man, excitement. Game of the year for me is Echoes of the Wisdom.
Echoes of the Wisdom. All right, Gamebird, what are you thinking about Nintendo this year?
I'm kind of echoing what you said, Prime. I think that as far as Switch goes this year, I think Echoes is the clear winner. It's a great game, but there was also, throughout the year, a lot of ports, a lot of stuff that, not everyone's played before, but a lot of us have played once or twice. I love like Thousand Year Doors, one of my all-time favorite GameCube games, easily. So that's a close runner-up for me, even though I've already played the game through a few times. Being able to revisit that, see how beautiful it looks with like the new lighting and the more clean paper textures on more modern hardware was just a joy. So that one's a close second. But I do feel like while this is probably Nintendo's best send-off year, because they do, like you said, Nate, they do kind of, I don't know, when they're ready to move on, they kind of just be like, we're done with it. And it kind of just, I don't know, becomes like a barren wasteland of games, usually with some of Nintendo's previous consoles. So I think it's really cool that they're filling out the year, even though a lot of these games are remasters, remakes. Still a lot of good stuff. I agree. I wouldn't say it's a strong year for Nintendo, but I think it was fine. And I think given that Switch is about to ride out into the sunset, I think it says a lot about how much content we're still getting. I feel like it would have been cool if we had that one more thing this year. And it doesn't have to be a new huge experience, but maybe if like Xenoblade Chronicles X remake had made it into this year somehow, like I think that one more extra thing would have just elevated this year to be a great kind of final year, even though we do have some releases bleeding out into next year. But definitely Echoes of Wisdom for me. I'm a Zelda fanboy. It's my favorite series of all time. So anytime a Zelda game comes out, it's like, even bias aside, the games are just so good and so inventive and creative that it's really hard for me to pull any enjoyment more from another title. Although I will say some of my gripes with Echoes of Wisdom, small little tangent, I also felt this in Tears of the Kingdom as well as Breath of the Wild. And it's one of the reasons I know none of the rumors are really, except for one theory, none of the rumors are really pointing to this with Switch 2. But a little bit over a year ago, I was championing for Switch 2 to somehow bring back dual screen, kind of a Wii U type, not gimmick, but feature. I think about how much we want Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, but on the Switch. But I also think about how the experience will always be better on the Wii U due to that amazing feature of having your items in your map and some of the cumbersome stuff from Breath of the Wild, Tears, and especially Echoes of Wisdom of navigating through all the little abilities that you get throughout your adventure. Just having that touchscreen.
Yeah.
But I do love how that game kind of was a little bit more of a hybrid blend between old Zelda and new Zelda. That felt really good because I've been, I love the new direction of Zelda, but I do feel like they've left behind some staples that definitely weren't broke. You know, your classic dungeons with the mini bosses. We got closer to that in Tears, and obviously we got something a lot like that in Echoes of Wisdom. But I really want them to dig into like, hey, everyone loves dungeons. Like, it's a fantastic part of Zelda. Make a cool mid-boss fight, make a final boss at the end of the dungeon. So getting
Yeah.
Well, that was sudden.
I got.
All right.
Can I ask
Did
you
I
real quick,
freeze up?
something very quick here?
Yeah, you froze for a second. You're good though.
Yeah, a little bit. It was like but it was a good pose. It was a good pose. So one thing to add is that we're getting a lot of ports right this year. It's very, very strategically done because remember, it's my first time playing Paper Mario 1,000 Year Door. My first Paper Mario was Origami King. My first Paper Mario. And so they're by porting these games, they're not only just porting it to the Switch, they're porting it to the Switch 2 too. You know what I mean? It's like with backwards compatibility, man, these games will continue to sell from here to 10 years from now. When the Switch 3 is around the corner, these games will still be on the eShop, you know, people buying them, giving them as gifts, e-cards. And so what Nintendo is doing with all these ports, I think they're making sure, like, that's why I am 100% sure that we're gonna see Wind Waker very soon on Switch, Twilight Princess, because not only are they just porting games, it's not just about porting the games for them to be on Switch. While they port the games, they will also be playable and downloadable on Switch too, as well, right? With hopefully with AI upscaling, all that stuff. But they're strategically bringing these games over so that they can continue to sell on Switch too. And on that dual screen thing, I wouldn't give up too much on that. Although I know it's not probably cast, the little button is not cast, but
Look at Mike throwing shade at me.
but I would not give up on that dual screen feature just yet, just because I know we have DS around the corner, and that's kind of like if GameCube is coming to Nintendo Switch Online, DS is like an easy follow up to that.
It makes sense.
Yeah, so maybe that little switch, maybe that little USB thingy, maybe it's not thing. It could be like a little cable you hook up to your dock or whatever, right? I don't know. Don't give up on it just yet. I like your hat, Nate, by the way.
I love how Mike took this opportunity during a Switch end of year topic to sneak in a Switch 2 conversation that won't be happening later because he wanted to rebuke me on the DS stuff. I'm just over here just fucking losing my shit right now. I just can't believe that just happened. All right. Stash. What are your thoughts on Nintendo Switch in 2024?
Well, yeah, it's the last year. It's the final year of Switch
Goodbye.
being the only Nintendo console on the market. And I gotta say, I thought it was a good year considering that. I really do. But as a whole, you were talking about the Nintendo games that I played this year. Which ones do I think are the best? And I'm just kind of looking right at some of the games I reviewed this year. Some of them, of course, that were on Switch. Like beginning of the year was Mario vs. Donkey Kong. I played and beat that 100% at that game. That was really fun. That was actually a really good game. I feel like a lot of people probably didn't play it. That was a good one. Contra was a lot of fun. Operation Galuga. That's, it's obviously it's on Nintendo. It's not a Nintendo published game, but it's on Nintendo. Penny's Big Breakaway, for anybody who is a fan of Sonic.
That was a cool game.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was made by a team of developers from, what was it? Not Sonic Origins, but the other.
Was it Mania?
Sonic Mania.
Sonic
yeah.
Mania.
Right behind me. Yep. Sonic Mania.
Yeah.
You can totally tell. Excellent game. Excellent soundtrack. That was a ton of fun.
Best new Sonic game too. Sonic
Yeah.
Mania.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, no, it's very
Of the
good.
modern
They
Sonics.
also were the ones who ported the Sonic games to Apple TV. I think it was a Christian Whitehead or something like that.
Yeah. That was good. Princess Peach Showtime, I played and beat that. Personally, I couldn't wait for the game to be over. Because I wanted to beat it before I give my final thoughts. But I think there's a good market for that. Honestly, I do, and I say that in my review. I think it is great for kids, no doubt. Star Wars Dark Forces was a highlight. That was a game that I wanted to play as a kid, and I did not have the PC for it. In fact, I didn't even own a PC. My cousin did, and his PC, I think he had a Pentium 2 back in the day. It wasn't powerful enough. So I never got to play it. And then literally 30 years later, that gets remade. Or not remade, but remastered, playing at 60 FPS. That was a ton of fun. Thousand Year Door. Game Bird, you mentioned that.
Yeah.
I played Thousand Year Door when it first came out on GameCube. I had it pre-ordered back in the day. I beat it probably within the first couple of weeks that it came out. And then I didn't touch it again. At all. So for me, this was really cool to revisit Thousand Year Door 20 years later, because it came out 20 years later. And so it definitely felt like a fresh experience because, at almost 40 years old, you don't remember the plot details and everything about the game. It's like, it's a little hazy. Like you remember the basics, but when you actually go in and replay the game, it was like, man, this feels new again. So that was really cool.
Totally.
And there were some kind of more oddities that I got to play this year that were Nintendo related, and these are first party. And I will mention, I want to give a shout out to Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate. Like, if that game was so much fun. I don't know if you guys have played it or if anyone in chat has played Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate, but if you like Hades, this is Hades, but Ninja Turtles. It is of high quality. It was an Apple Arcade exclusive.
Yeah.
And it came to Switch, and I believe it's on PS5 and Xbox now, and they have DLC coming early 2025. And I follow them on Twitter. This company, they've already mentioned that a sequel is in the works.
Sure,
So I'm
sure.
actually legit excited about
Super
that.
Mega
That
Evil
game was very good. Nintendo World Championships, guys. Well, come on, man.
Yeah, I didn't care for that one.
That's my era. This is those are the games I grew up with the
Too
NES.
easy.
Too
I had a
easy.
lot of fun with it though. I had a good
You
time with
number
it.
one on the leaderboards, Mike?
Yeah, because I play on myself by myself because I'm number
Yeah, just against yourself. Got it.
one.
I thought it was cool. Like, I don't speed run games. I enjoy games, right? But the name of the game with Nintendo World Championships is to speed run it,
Yeah.
right? And so if that's the name of the game, I'm going to try and do it. And 100% it, and I did. And it was a lot of fun, actually. It was a good challenge. It was a nice throwback. I think another real big highlight, and again, this is unofficial, guys, but playing A Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo CD. So it's the MSU one. That was amazing, playing A Link to the Past again, revisiting it with, I think it has over 130 different songs that are fully orchestrated from Zelda put into A Link to the Past. And like re-experiencing that again and playing it on my 150-inch screen in surround sound and just taking my time and like kind of soaking it all in. That was a really nice experience, legit. That was really cool. Now, a couple other highlights for Switch. That Castlevania Dominus collection. That was awesome, man. That was very unexpected. Those DS games are so good. So I was happy to see that. Plucky Squire, that was another real highlight. I know Eric would say the same thing if he was here.
Yeah, he told me it's his favorite game of the year.
Yeah. And so good. I'm glad I mentioned that because that would be for Eric. And, I reviewed that game. I absolutely loved it. I played it on PS5, but it's obviously on Switch. I got the platinum on it because I enjoyed it so much. Mario and Luigi Brothership. I do want to give a shout out to that. And I will always say that there's that game is nowhere close to a 5. It got a 5. It was a 5, right, on IGN. So
Yeah.
unforgettable. And again, I think we've said this before on the podcast. It's like one person at IGN reviewed it. You know what I mean? So you kind of have to like go around and watch multiple reviews
Mhm.
to get a good idea of if this is a game you're gonna like. If someone gives it a 5 out of 10, it's like, come on, you got to look around a little bit too, because that was definitely out of left field. The Sonic X Shadow Generations was very good. That was a highlight as well. But ultimately, guys, I think we all know what my favorite game was on Switch.
Punch Out.
But I had to give a shout out to everybody else first. Yeah, Punch Out was great, of course, but Echoes of Wisdom, no doubt. Easy. I loved it. I would say my second favorite game of the year that was a first-party Nintendo title would have been Mario and Luigi Brothership. So far, I still need to finish beating it. But that has been a great game. And Mario vs. Donkey Kong was actually a lot of fun. That was a good time. So I think for it being the last year, this has been really good.
Yep.
We never expected to be getting a 2D top-down Legend of Zelda game starring Zelda. So now we have another outlet now. And then we've mentioned this before, right? We have the Zelda remakes. We have the flagship Zelda titles. We have the possibility of getting the 3D remasters, hopefully, or remakes. And now we have Zelda with her own series. So a lot of opportunity here to get a lot of Zelda games on Switch too, which I think is exciting.
All right. That is very, very exciting. So yeah, Nintendo, kind of a good year, or a weird year, an off year, but also a good year. I mean, I didn't even bring up the Mario and Luigi Brothers trip. Totally forgot about that one, and Mario versus Donkey Kong. So
Yeah.
again, Nintendo had a game every month. So I mean, there was probably something for some Nintendo fan every month. But if there was only one game you enjoyed this year, it might have felt like a bit of a downer year. But who knows? Maybe everyone loved this year, and this was one of their favorite years. It's all going to be dependent on what genre and what Nintendo games you like the most. All right, I think we can get into our third topic. What was it? Dealer's choice. Did you figure out what your topic's going to be, Stash?
Yeah, I figured it out. So, guys, this could go on for a long time. Okay, so we have to make sure that we don't let it go on forever. But I've procured a list, and chat, I want you to help me out in case I miss any. So, guys, if you can also keep an eye on the chat and see if there's any titles that I ended up missing. But what it is I'm going to talk about dormant Nintendo IPs, but I'm going to say the game, and we're going to go around. We'll go Mike first, Game Bird, Nintendo Prime, and I'll go last. Are we going to get it on Switch too? Yes or no?
Okay.
Oh, maybe.
Yes.
Okay.
Mike's going to say yes to everything. Just spoiler warning.
All right. First one, Punch Out.
No.
Game Bird.
I don't think so.
Yes.
I don't think we're gonna get a new Punch Out, just to be clear. But I could see
Unless
Maybe
there's a
a
VR headset.
old
Unless
Wii
there's a
one.
VR headset.
New one's coming, baby. I don't even need it unless it's coming one way or another. We're getting one.
I'm going to
Arms
say yes, because we got one on NES. We got one on Super Nintendo. They skipped the 64, but we did get a rendition of it on GameCube. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I literally bought Knockout Kings
Yeah.
to have Punch Out on my GameCube, and then we got it on Wii. So it's time. Now's the time. If we don't get it now, I don't know if it's ever coming back. So I feel like we have to get on Switch too. All right. Wario Land.
Oh.
No.
Game Bird's a no.
No. I would love one. Wario Land Shake It on the Wii. Oh man, what a great platformer.
Warrior
Right?
Games, yes. Warrior Land, no.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that we know we're gonna get a WarioWare, but it's like, what about the land?
I'm gonna say yes. Maybe I'm being optimistic here, but the fact they did it on Wii.
You accused Mike of being the yes man. You're saying yes
Well,
to
there's only
everything,
two.
dude.
Like, can we relax a
I
little
know,
bit?
I know. I'm busting your balls. It's the Nick Cage blanket giving me
Yeah,
some
it's all right.
attitude.
It's one of those things where I think it's a series that they're only going to do once in a blue moon, and I feel like this is the once in the blue moon now. Because if you think about the franchises that came back on Switch, even here towards the end of the generation, even with just ports, kind of feels like that could be sort of a thing that's happened. Remember, the Switch generation is going to be like another 8 years.
Mm.
They're going to need some filler games, and I feel like that would be a nice filler game as a new land. And I'm saying new. I'm not saying like bringing back an old one. They could, but a new land game, I kind of feel like it's something they'll do once every few gens. And we didn't get one on Wii U. Obviously, didn't get one on Switch. So now it's time.
Yeah, I'm gonna say yes, and I'm gonna give another reason why on top of what you just said, is that I look at an indie game that got a lot of publicity this year, and the reason it got so much publicity, well, one of the reasons is that it was compared to Wario Land. A lot of people compared it to that. That's Pizza Tower.
Oh, Pizza Tower, okay.
Mm.
Yeah, so I think that got a lot of people saying, "Oh yeah, I remember Wario. Why don't they make those games anymore?" I don't know. Maybe someone at Nintendo is like, "Hey, maybe we should revisit this on Switch too."
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So that would be nice. Okay. Star Fox.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Really?
We're
I'm,
talking about 10 years of
saying no. I'm saying no, not because you guys said yes, because Mike said no to the first two.
He's saying no because I said yes.
No, that's not actually why. So here's the thing. Star Fox Zero is better than the reputation it has, but it's still not great because they focus too much on gimmicks, and I just kind of feel like Star Fox Zero also was very reliant on basically Star Fox 64, and I feel like since Star Fox 64, they've never really been able to figure out what Star Fox is after that. And it's been a long time. We've had multiple attempts at it. They still can't seem to find anything that sticks. So I kind of think they're just sort of done with it. I'm not saying there won't be a remaster or something. I'd like to see them go with the adventure route, but they clearly don't seem interested in going back down that route. So I feel like they just don't know what that series is anymore. And one of the best games in the series kind of also ruined the series in that they couldn't find any way to move past what that game did. And I don't feel like they've found a way today either. So I kind of feel like, well, we might get a remaster. I can see some remasters happening. Absolutely. We're going to get more GameCube remasters and stuff. We could see something. We could see Adventure come back. But I just don't think we're going to see any new additions to Star Fox.
Can I give you a quick reason why I think it's coming? Remember that leak list that I went over for movies?
Yep.
Yeah.
Star Fox was on there by Illumination. I've been following that list, and that list is only, of course, I shared it in the gaming genre, but it's out there with the movie genre as well. There's people who've been following the list to see what comes to pass. Already, Shrek has been confirmed, and a whole bunch of other movies there.
Shrek's a given.
Like, yeah, I'm saying like
will go until the voice actors die, and then they will keep it going with AI.
Yeah. And so Firefox again. Star Fox by Illumination is in there. I think that warrants, if that comes to pass, a Star Fox movie that could revitalize the franchise. We can get a good game out of that too. So, and we're talking about the next 10 years, guys. 10 years. Let's say the Switch 2 lands in 10 years. Anything can happen in 10 years. I think Star Fox is going to make it a Switch 2 in those 10 years.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get a Star Fox. I agree that Nintendo hasn't figured out Star Fox, and Star Fox is broken. And like you said, Nate, it's too reliant on Star Fox 64. The on-rail shooter just doesn't do it anymore, at least in the sales department. And I think Nintendo has found a lot of success with reinventing games. You know, Zelda's a great example of that. Is, you know, they kind of broke it apart and then rebuilt it with a new concept to wild success. I think Star Fox lands in that. I think the fact that we're getting Metroid Prime 4 even is enough to say a new Star Fox is in the cards. I just think it's not going to be anything like 0 or 64. I think it's going to be reinvented. I don't know if they'll go the adventure route, make it maybe a little more like Ratchet and Clank, but with a stronger emphasis on space battles, and maybe the land stuff is kind of a smaller piece in the puzzle. But I think that, you know, some of the smaller series or even series that were already big have seen great success with the success of the Switch. If Switch 2 is successful as a lot of, you know, some of the early analysts are predicting it to be, it's a great opportunity to bring back something old, but make it new, make it fresh. Be like, this isn't the Star Fox that you remember. This is the new Star Fox of today. But we'll see.
I'm going to say yes. I think it's coming back in some way, shape, or form. Whether it's a remake, a remaster, or something completely different, I do think we see Star Fox on Switch 2. I just don't know in what form it's going to be. Because again, I'm not confident that we're going to continue, you know, being up there in space. I just don't know. I don't know if there's a big market for that either, outside of Star Wars. I mean, you think about the games that are flying these days. There's not a lot of them.
Yeah.
I don't know that they sell very well outside of Ace Combat. And I don't even know how well that sells. I don't even know the sales numbers. All right, next. Golden Sun.
Ooh, no.
Okay. The last
Golden-
one we got was
man.
on DS, right?
Yeah.
It's been
I'm gonna say yes, but I don't know. I could see Golden Sun coming back as kind of that fits into that HD 2D type or some more smaller scale art style, pretty kind of nostalgic. I could see it coming back.
so like my mind's telling me no, but my body's telling me yes. Look, I really HD 2D brand new would be sick. Even a remaster would be sick. I truly don't think it's actually going to come back. I think they're kind of done with the IP, but I mean, I want it. So my final answer is maybe, because I just want it that bad.
All right. I'm gonna say there's a possibility we could get it as an HD 2D title.
Mm.
It is such a great candidate for
I
that.
think so.
And when you mentioned that, I was like, okay, yeah, HD 2D, I could see that. That would be a great way to bring it back and introduce it to the modern audience. All right, here's a kind of a deeper cut. Chibi Robo.
Nah.
Last one was on GameCube. Did
No,
we get one on Wii?
we have one on.
I think we had one
DS.
Wii, or I could
Wait,
be wrong.
CB Robo, is that?
Yeah, we did maybe have one on 3DS, didn't we?
Let me look at the GB Robo here. I think. Remember correctly? Let's see here. The games. Let's see here.
That first party from Nintendo?
Yeah, Ziplash. That was the last one on 3DS. Yep.
Yeah, Nintendo published it.
I have never played CB Robo, so I'm gonna say no. It's not gonna make it because I'm not too interested in it.
Platformer.
That listens to me and stuff. You know?
95% like this video game on Google. And I care about the people who actually take the time to give a Google review. Because that means they have strong feelings about it either way. So I put some stock in that.
Interesting. But yeah, no, not gonna make it. It's dead in the water.
It's so weird that Nintendo hype guys just know to almost everything.
What do you think, Gamebird?
I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say.
Thoughts right now.
Man, this is a tough one. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. If Chibi Robot comes, if it comes, I think it's gonna be a much later title. I don't think it's
is
coming.
this a
anytime
new
soon.
one or that same one?
It in any way, shape, or form. So this
Okay,
could
then
be.
I gotta change my address.
Oh.
My I gotta change my
So you think we're gonna get that GameCube remaster?
I think we're gonna get an NSO version.
Oh, okay. So GameCube NSO,
Yeah, once Nintendo
Chibi Robo.
once GameCube makes it to NSO,
Oh, man.
I'm guessing all those games that are not gonna get remastered, that will not be big sellers, Nintendo will gonna put them on NSO.
I'm not counting NSO in my thoughts because NSO is like a cheat.
So do we put NSO count or no?
I
Just
thought-
a new
I'm
version
not
of the
counting
game.
it. You can count it.
I thought we were talking
Okay,
new
never mind. Yeah,
entries
yeah.
because if we're talking like
Like NSO, the
remasters
answer is just
and
gonna be
ports,
everything.
I could see things coming from all these
Okay.
titles. We
Yeah,
discussed.
all right. So NSO's out. So
No NSO, but yeah, remasters, remakes, like how we got Thousand Year Door.
yeah,
You know, you could count that,
Sure.
no doubt.
yeah. I still say no.
Okay.
I'm gonna say yeah. If it well, does an eShop port just like a
I think an
basic
eShop port
count?
counts because as long as it's not part of the subscription, I think it counts.
Okay, then I'll say yeah. I could see it popping up in the eShop with like maybe just an
It's a cult
upscaler
classic.
to make it look a little bit fresh. Yeah. I'll say sure. I'll take
Wait,
a
is
gamble on this
it a
one.
new one or is it the same one? Oh, remasters count?
Yeah,
Yeah.
remaster count.
I still say no.
Well, why do you click the clear? Okay. The answer is no.
Well, yeah,
Ziplash was their last ditch effort to try to make it sell. It didn't work. I think they're done with the IP.
Okay. It's tough. Games like this don't really get made anymore. They really don't, unless it's like an indie developer making something like this.
Mm.
With the budgets of video games these days, I think there's a chance. I don't think it's high, but I think there's a chance. I'll just say yes. I think there's a chance. Okay. All right. Next, Wave Race.
Yes, that one I say yes to because I think that Nintendo Switch 2 is going to develop that technology that we saw in the patent about the magnetic liquid thing turned into solid and stuff, giving you like the haptic feedback. And Wave Race will be the perfect game to kind of demonstrate that feature, right? Just like, for those of you not familiar, PlayStation 5 has that the triggers that they kind of change the way they feel when you push it, depending on what you're doing. There's a pattern where there's a joystick that also kind of changes the way it feels when you're walking through sand, through water, whatever. And so Wave Race will be the best game if ever Nintendo. If I'm saying if it's a patent, it's never. I don't know if it's gonna make it or not. But if it does make it into the final product and Nintendo does give you that feedback, Wave Race will be the perfect one of the great games. I'm saying like lower tier games, $39.99, $49.99 games that Nintendo could re-release or make a new one of that could really take advantage of that feature. So,
And you think it's a new Wave Race?
a new Wave Race, yeah.
Okay. All right, I like that answer, Gamebird.
No, I
You
don't
think,
think so. It'll be
you think
cool.
people don't care about jet skiing like
think it'll be
they
cool.
used to in the 90s, right?
Yeah, I just don't see Nintendo making a new one. I see NSO stuff. I just don't see. I don't know. I have a hard time seeing
Yeah.
that.
Okay. All right. Nate Dogg, what do you got?
All right. Look, I'm gonna say yes, but I'm gonna say yes, and you're correct, Demonic Brother. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling something over here. But caveat: it's not gonna be new. It's just gonna be a GameCube remaster. That's how it's gonna get in. They're gonna remaster more GameCube games. It's gonna happen. That's gonna be one of them. That's it. Not because of some fancy, dangled, expensive feature they're not going to totally put in the controller. Sorry, Mike. I know you already know I disagree on that, but that's okay. It's still really cool. It's a cool idea. I watched your video on it.
I cannot wait till Switch 2 comes out.
You
man.
cannot wait so you can prove me wrong on everything. It's just all opinions at this point, anyways. But yeah, no, I think it'll be back as a remaster. That's where I'm at. I gotta stop talking. You go. You're upset.
Okay, Wave Race. I think we get it back in some way, shape, or form. Again, I don't know if it's going to be a new one. The odds obviously lessen considerably when it comes to being a new one. But I think we could get something, whether it be a remaster, like you said, Nate, possibly the GameCube one upscaled. That's a GameCube game. We got a lot of GameCube remasters. We didn't get that one. What I would like, and I'll tell you this, I recently revisited Blue Storm because I want to try it out on the projector on the 150-inch screen. Check it out, and I used the RetroTink 5X, and I used the HD RetroVision component cables. So I'm squeezing the best out of this that I can. I played it through the Wii. So with the backwards compatibility, and it was fun. It was fun. I gotta say though, the soundtrack compared to Wave Race 64 is kind of trash. It's not a good soundtrack. I feel like they put very little effort into it. Maybe they didn't realize that Wave Race 64 is like a highly regarded video game soundtrack. But just playing it, I'm like, it's just there's things that's missing. So if we did get a Blue Storm re-release, God, I would love for them to give us the Wave Race 64 soundtrack. Just do a swap. That'd be cool. All right.
That would be cool. I just feel like, real quick, if we do get some sort of GameCube NSO, I feel like Wave Race is a good fit for that. If we're not getting a new one, I feel like Wave Race is a good fit for that, as opposed to selling the game for $30 on the eShop. Personally, and they can add in, like they've done with NSO, the online features, and it's got that nice HD filter on it, so it's high definition, but that's just
me.
No,
I agree with you. All right, let's do some rapid fire here. 1080.
Yes. What are we talking about though?
Snowboarding.
Oh, I had like resolution. Like,
I
love that.
No. Nah.
Game Bird?
I don't think so.
Yeah. No one's making snowboarding games anymore. SSX was carrying it for a while. Cool Borders was a good one back in the day. Snowboard Kids.
Yeah.
I feel like that ship sailed. Okay, how about this one? And I'm going to mention this one because I think there's a good chance that we can do some business with this company. And so first I'll say Diddy Kong Racing.
No,
that's tough. I think we might get a track in Mario Kart 9 with Diddy Kong, featuring Diddy Kong Racing. Like those tracks have a better chance of being ported to Mario Kart 9, can get more themes and stuff, than the actual Diddy Kong Racing itself, because Mario Kart already checks all the marks. So it makes more sense to add Diddy Kong and their themes to Mario Kart.
Okay, good point. Game Bird?
Yeah, I agree with Mike. I don't think we're getting a new Diddy Kong Racing game. I think pull from that game, if anything. Obviously, Nintendo's, they're definitely working on the next Mario Kart. Could be a launchier game, maybe not, but they are working on it. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has become huge. It's got an insane amount of tracks, a lot of characters, a lot of really cool stuff there. I think just like when we get the next Smash Brothers, the next thing to do is kind of reinvent, pull in some new ideas, some new mechanics to kind of change things up. Maybe a story mode in Mario Kart, maybe boss races in Mario Kart. But yeah, I think I see more Nintendo pulling some ideas from Diddy and not necessarily making a new one.
I like that point. And I also don't know if we're going to get a standalone Diddy game, honestly, because of what you guys just said, though. I don't know if like they want that kind of PR to deal with. It's going to turn into a meme, probably. You know what I mean? So I just don't know. But and also the head-to-head competition part is not good. I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo was maybe not excited about Diddy Kong Racing coming out back in the day to compete with Mario Kart 64. Okay, Nate, what do you think? Diddy Kong, yay or nay?
No.
Okay, yeah. Odds are very low. Okay, how about this one? Eternal Darkness.
Yes. Sorry, I skipped Mike. Sorry, I got excited for a second.
It's understandable. Mike, what do you think?
I'm gonna share in Game Bird's excitement. I'm gonna back it up with saying no.
Okay.
Cold-hearted, dude.
I'm gonna say yes, remastered.
Okay. I actually think it's an excellent title for a remaster. It came out in June 2002, which is just so crazy to think that, yeah, this game is, before you know, it'll be 25 years old. Maybe by then we'll get a remaster for the 25th anniversary. So maybe in 2027. I think that's definitely a candidate there. All right. Pilot Wings.
Quick question. So Eternal Darkness was only was released in for GameCube,
Yes.
and was there any?
And we almost got a spiritual successor that failed. I think it was like failed funding on Kickstarter.
So
if I remember
it only got like that one
correctly.
game on GameCube.
Yeah. It was one game on GameCube. It
Yeah.
was developed by Silicon Knights.
Mm-hmm.
And Nintendo published it. And if I recall, and then Silicon Knights went under.
Mm.
They lost a ton of money on that game to, what was it? Too Human? You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And they ended up getting
that's
the
the right
Eternal
one.
Darkness IP. So it's
Mhm.
not like an original Nintendo crafted IP.
Yeah.
That they're just the owner of that IP now. So it would be interesting if we ended up getting a
Remaster.
remaster.
Okay.
All right.
I think it's totally possible, and I think we could get a new game in the series. I'd love to see Nintendo do, not to sidetrack, but I'd love to see Nintendo do with Eternal Darkness what they did with Bayonetta, where it was looking pretty grim for a sequel to Bayonetta, and Nintendo's like, let's make it happen, on the Wii U, and I don't know. I feel like Nintendo's really good. They got their third-person competitive shooter with Splatoon. They got their platformer, their adventure game. They're filling out all the different genres. Their kart racer, their fighter. They need a good horror. Emio is really cool for the visual novel stuff, but I'd love to see Nintendo be like, you know what? We've got this really cool IP that has like a cult following. Let's bring it back. Let's make it really cool. Let's make it really good. And that game has trademarked mechanics that haven't been used in other horror titles that are really cool, but they were trademarked. So no other game is utilizing them.
Do you think Eternal Darkness could be a good Souls-like game? Nintendo doesn't have a Souls game, like a Nintendo IP Souls game. I wonder if they could work with someone like a Bandai Namco or FromSoft. That'd be interesting. Okay.
Cool.
Often talked about, but actually, before I go to this one, let's go Pilot Wings. Do we get a Pilot Wings? It's been a long time. We did have Pilot Wings Resort on 3DS.
Mm-hmm. Think so.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, if it's that recent from 3DS, Nintendo 3DS, I think we could get a port for the Nintendo Switch.
That's true. Gamer, what do you think?
I don't think we'll get a Pilot Wings remaster or new game. I could see it. So my answer is a no, but I could see Pilot Wings as like a mini game, used in a new Mario Party or a WarioWare or whatever. But I don't think we're going to get a new or remastered title.
Okay. Nate?
No.
Yeah. I feel like there's maybe a 10% chance.
Are you saying there's a chance?
Yes, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say there's a chance we get one. All right, Kid Icarus. Is he coming back?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Sakurai's already said he wants to remaster a game, so that alone is a yes.
Okay, yeah.
That's what Sakurai wants.
I think Kid Icarus is coming back as well. And now, whether it's going to be a 3DS remaster or a new game or both, I don't know. But again, I think it's coming back. All right, Excite. Are we excited? We're going to get Excite Bike.
Excite Bike? That'll be awesome.
Excite Truck.
Excite Truck?
Anything Excite Bike.
I would love to see Excite Bike, like a new one, but no.
Yeah. What do you think, Gamebird?
Man, if I was allowed to talk NSO stuff, I'd say yes, and there's going to be some Excite Bike game that falls falls in line with like Mario 35 and Tetris
Yeah.
99. But if we're leaving out NSO, then I'm going to say no. But I could see them doing a really cool, fun take on Excitebike, maybe a battle royale racer like the F-Zero game.
I think you make a good point there. I'm actually glad you brought that up because I would say the same thing. I could only see it in that aspect. Nate, what do you think?
For anyone who's seen the movie Dictator,
Yep.
no. Just for the audio listeners, it's a no. But if you haven't seen the movie, that means
Yeah,
That's a really
That's
kill
hard
him off,
no.
take him away. They don't actually kill him; they send him to America. But
but that kind of counts though, right? Because Tetris 99 is considered its own thing.
I have the physical release on my shelf.
So Excitebike, well, not 99, but Excitebike something NSO could actually be very fun.
but will it get its own release? Probably not. F-Zero didn't. That was a Tetris thing. Nintendo doesn't own Tetris, so
Yeah.
That actually leads me to my next game. Are we going to get a proper F-Zero? Are we going to get a remake, a remaster, a new entry? I'm not counting F-Zero 99 as obviously as a standalone game. So we're going to get a proper F-Zero.
Before F-Zero 99, I would have said no, but F-Zero 99 kind of sparked that hunger for a new F-Zero game and kind of, brought fans into it. So I'm not going to say 100%, but I'm going to give it a 30%. Yes.
Yes, for me, but I gotta say, Mike, I'm surprised you're like kind of on the fence and 30%. But when he asked about Wave Race, you're like, yes, we're getting Wave Race. Yeah. Come on now, F-Zero, baby.
Wave Race.
No, I think we're gonna get it.
Than F-Zero. So maybe it was more like
that's fair.
It was more like the the want. My heart says yes. You know what? I want to say yes too.
Sure.
Yeah. Right, Nate?
look, it's gonna happen. We're getting GX remastered. I already heard about the game privately like 3 years ago. I just don't know when it's coming out. They're gonna drop it. Nintendo might already have it done. And they're just like waiting on it,
like sitting on it.
Yeah.
We already know they've sat on a bunch of games they released this year. I bet you they're sitting on more to sprinkle out throughout the Switch's life. Now the thing is, it was about Switch 2. Whatever, backwards compatibility, same difference at this point. It's in the future. It's happening in the future. So.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree.
I'm gonna say yes, and I think F-Zero 99 was released to reintroduce F-Zero to the modern audience. They planted a seed. That way, when F-Zero GX remake, remaster, whatever it's going to be comes out, it has a chance to sell better. I do think we're going to get that. I think that's a very high probability. All right, here's one that hasn't had a release in a long time. You guys are probably going to say it's doubtful, but I think we'd all like to have it, and that's Star Tropics.
Right, there is a new trademark for Star Tropics.
Is there?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did a video on that?
Yeah, an updated trademark for Star Tropics.
They update trademarks all the time. You know,
yeah.
Like even if it was a brand new one, like they make these new ones all the time, especially in like different countries and stuff. Or if they're gonna like merchandise for like anniversaries. It's the answer. The realistic answer is no. They're never touching the franchise. It hasn't come up anywhere but these old man Nintendo podcasts. Like nobody knows.
Yeah, exactly.
Like literally. The only time it comes up is like this show, the Nintendads podcast, like anyone who's got like, people that are like 35 plus running podcasts are like the only people that even mentioned this game existed in Nintendo's history. So the answer is definitely a hard fucking no. There's already 2 of them, and they decided like 30 fucking years ago to stop making them. They're not suddenly going to bring it back. That being said,
is it on NSO?
NSO doesn't count, Mike. I think they are. I think one of them are on NSO.
I'm saying like,
we established
the original on NSO though.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think that's what the trademark is for.
Yeah, it could have just been for that. Yeah. So I think that this is like one of the biggest things I want to come back. I'd like to see it come back as a remaster HD 2D style, and then maybe try to handle a new one. I think it's really hard to release a new one this far after unless you're going to reboot. But they're not going to do it. Like Nintendo doesn't have the team for that kind of stuff. And if they did, it's Monolith Soft. Monolith Soft busy doing their own thing right now. So I'm going to say my heart really wants this, but there's no fucking way. So we will never see outside of updated textures on NSO or some stupid shit. We're never going to see Nintendo utter the word Star Tropics as a new release again.
Maybe in a movie, Star Tropics movie.
Oh, I reference in the background of a Mario movie, maybe.
Yeah,
poster.
I second that. I don't think we're gonna get a Star Tropics. I don't even think there's a 1% chance. But shout out to Mike Jones for sure. All right, how about one that this has been talked about forever? We just had the 30th anniversary.
Yes.
You guys know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Earthbound, baby.
Yeah, eventually.
Fuck no.
Eventually.
The creator of the franchise was like, fucking out. We're done. There ain't any more to this story. We can't even get the third one in the West. What are we talking about? We can't even get Earthbound 3. We can't even get that released in the United States officially. We cannot even get it released. And we are talking about coming back? Nah, fuck no, man. Nintendo is fucked off with that franchise. It's only relevant because of Smash. It sucks.
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm swearing a lot. I'm really gone right now.
Gamer, what do you think?
Shit.
Yeah, I agree with Nate. I think it's a no. I feel like Switch 2 is the last chance for Earthbound. Switch was such a Smash success that it's shocking that we couldn't get Earthbound 3 on the Switch. Yeah. If Switch 2 is anywhere close to as successful as the Switch and we don't get it there, like it's definitely never coming after that point. I mean, not in my lifetime, I don't think. But yeah, at this point, like Nate said, we don't have Earthbound 3. It just seems unlikely.
Okay.
I don't see it happening.
That's fair. I'm gonna say that we get Earthbound in some way, shape, or form, whether it be the Super Nintendo, which is Mother 2 in Japan, but Earthbound here, whether it be a HD 2D version of Earthbound, or we get Mother 3 that, of course, never came out here for the GBA. Maybe that comes out. Maybe that's an NSO kind of thing. I think there's a reason Nintendo doesn't touch Earthbound. But we also have a new president, and that's the only thing that gives me hope that maybe he will say, why haven't we released this game, guys? Come on. We're releasing Grand Theft Auto on Switch. Okay, I know there's some touchy topics in this game, but come on, man. Like, we can do this.
Part of me thinks NOA is blocking it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
I think so too.
Yeah,
it's wild too.
You need to stop, dude. We're 40 years old. The NES came out in 85.
Yeah,
the same year I came out, dude. Like, we can handle this shit.
Maybe they're worried about the 5-year-old.
I know. Well, then give it.
It's wild too because there's
put it on the 18+ app, baby.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. It's wild to me too because the Switch has become such a great home for JRPGs. The best platform, in my opinion, of the current consoles for JRPGs. And like we've seen series like Persona, which, they're those JRPGs that take place in more the modern setting built around you and your friends and how wildly successful that series has become. I would love to see a modern take on current or the next hardware of where they could take Earthbound today. It'd be really cool. Sad. Wasted potential.
I will predict that we will see an Earthbound remake.
I like that.
Already?
I like it. Okay. I give this one again. We could do this forever. Let me give a last one. Okay. Maybe we'll do a part 2 someday. But again, because the relationship is there, because both parties are willing to work together, because these characters were in Smash Brothers,
Mm.
do we get Banjo-Kazooie?
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah, man. Imagine-
Banjo Kazooie is one of my favorite games of all time. I'm that weirdo who thinks the game is like way better than Mario 64. Come at me in the comments. I don't care. But I've been dreaming of a Banjo 3 since Banjo Kazooie 2.
It's Microsoft, right? It's Microsoft now, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Yeah, they love Nintendo.
yeah.
But I think it's a possibility. It's only a possibility if it's coming to Switch 2.
Okay,
If it's not a Switch 2 thing, it's not happening because I don't think Microsoft has the audience for it.
no,
And I think if we get it, it's not Banjo-Kazooie 3 because I think that's the wrong move, to be honest, even though the fans have been waiting for that. The move is to do a full remake of the first game, to reintroduce people to it, make it stunning, the ray tracing, the lighting, bring Grant Kirkhope back with, maybe some orchestrations in his
Yeah.
soundtrack, and make it super tight, great cameras, make an amazing remake of the first game to reintroduce old fans, bring in new fans, and then do the third game.
Gonna tell you, this is simple. It's going to be a new game, and Microsoft, all you gotta do, reach out to Playtonic Games, baby.
I agree.
They haven't released a new game in a
There.
This
they've
is
been
what I
working
was gonna
the
say.
whole time. Maybe they've been working on this the whole time. They did Yooka-Laylee, got Yooka Replay coming out. They are a team that is made up of former devs that worked on the game.
Yep.
They clearly understand a little bit about what makes the game great. I'm not going to say that Yooka Replay is good as as good as the Banjo games, but it does have some of that spirit in there. You hire them, they can't do any worse than fucking nuts and bolts. So
Oh,
let's go,
God.
baby.
Why do you
Let's
even have to bring that up, dude? That was a really rough time in my life, to be honest.
Especially
I
when
agree.
I didn't even see a trailer of the game before I bought it. I just it's more Banjo. Let's go.
Yep.
Oh my god, worst purchase ever.
I think we get Banjo. I really do. I think a lot's going to change with Microsoft during the Switch 2 era as well. Just as
Yeah.
with how they look at video games and video game consoles and software, and where they release their software and how they figure out what games are going to develop outside of like Microsoft. They're going to start looking at, hey, what games can we develop that will sell on Nintendo?
Mhm.
And that's when you get something like Banjo. Speaking of that, though, with Rare, right? These are all Rare IP. Rare is not the Rare it was back in the day with the Stamper Brothers. A lot has changed. A lot of people have obviously left. I mean, Playtonic again.
Yeah.
I think Yooka-Laylee was a Kickstarter. I'm pretty sure
Mm-hmm.
I helped kickstart that years ago, and I did because of that background, because I respect it, right? I respect the work they did over there at Rare, and knowing that Rare is just not kind of who they used to be, but they got the IP still. So with that said, let me just say this. Do you guys think we get that new Perfect Dark on Switch 2?
Yeah, I think so. I think Microsoft wants everything everywhere all at once.
I think it's my turn, Game Bird.
Sorry.
We don't know how to talk, Mike.
Go ahead, finish that. I'll go after you.
Oh no, that's it. Yeah, I think it's coming. I think Microsoft wants everything everywhere. I mean, that's their whole new slogan. Everything's an Xbox. They've demonstrated
right there. Worst marketing ever. You can just stop talking.
This is an Xbox.
Hey,
right here. This is an Xbox.
You might think so, but that's how they're marketing. So that's how it is.
I agree with you. And
Xbox, they put Call of Duty on the cans sometimes.
I think we definitely get F-Zero, or not F-Zero, Perfect Dark. I think we definitely get Perfect Dark. I don't see why we wouldn't. I think that makes a ton of sense. Nate, what do you think? Yes or no?
For what?
Perfect Dark. New Perfect Dark that's
We were
being
done after
developed.
Banjo. Now we're throwing Perfect Dark in? Well, shit. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, because why not?
They're
Because
already
again,
making one. Bring it to
yeah,
Switch.
Microsoft is a software company. That's what they're going to be. Hardware, they'll still have it, but I think it's going to be secondary. Okay,
Mhm.
great. So with that said, though, do we get a new Conquer?
No.
Is Conquer ever going to get a new game, or is he forgotten IP? What's going on with that?
They're going to remaster Bad Fur Day one day. Again, technically it'd be the second time, but it's never been put in HD.
Or
I don't
4K.
think it's happening on Switch 2. Maybe the next gen. I don't think we're gonna see a Conquer for a while.
Switch 3.
We'll see Banjo before Conquer.
I think we see
feel.
Banjo before Conquer too,
Yeah,
for sure.
And
I
if
just
Banjo
don't
doesn't
know.
do well, we don't see Conquer.
It'd be interesting. I mean, if you think about it, we had Banjo, obviously, in Smash. What about Conquer?
Didn't we just say that one? Conquer?
Yeah, but no, about having him in
I don't
Smash
think they
Brothers.
can put him in there. And I'll say why. Not just because he cusses all the time. So what sound effects are you going to use? He's fucking drunk.
Yeah,
They
I
just
know,
do
that's part of the
the-
problem.
That in there.
They just do the Switch snap.
Like one of his
censor it.
attacks in multiplayer is pissing on people. Like it's just not going to happen.
Yeah. See, this is part of the problem. Like, this is why
Nintendo didn't want this game to
They
exist,
didn't.
but because of the contract, they were strong armed into actually publishing it. And it's a fucking fantastic game, by the way. Amazing. I mean, it's rare at peak. Like it was so fucking good, but it is so like against what Nintendo does. That being said, Nintendo's a bit more open to like M-rated stuff.
Yeah.
But like it's still. Like they'd be open to co-publishing, which they don't need to do anymore because it's just wholly owned by Microsoft. Like they wouldn't be against the game coming to their platform. I mean, come on, they let hentai games on their platform. They don't give a shit.
That's true.
But in terms of putting in Smash, it would have to be. I think it could get in like as a trophy or something like that.
is a trophy assist.
Or
Yeah.
like an assist trophy or something. Yeah, I just don't know that they would give them the full. If they do.
Oh,
I'm day one in the
I'm
next.
day wanting it too. That'd be so
now.
badass.
That's my new main, even if he's like the worst character. I don't care.
I know.
You know,
Yeah.
I could just imagine the taunts.
Graves. Dude, can you imagine what the final smash has
I
to
wonder
be?
what the final
The taunts
smash
that
would
they
be.
give
Yeah.
him.
Mighty Boo comes in, baby. What are we doing?
Yeah. Or what if like he I don't know, like chugs a bottle of like vodka and then cracks it over your head or something. It's something insane. Oh man, I would love to see it.
The victory pose better be him drunk stumbling onto the throne. That's all I'm saying.
Or peeing. Or peeing.
Or yeah, just pissing off screen. You just hear the sound effect.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Do we get
I'm surprised.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm surprised you didn't throw Ice Climbers. In
It's
this
on
one.
here. No,
Oh,
it's,
it
it's,
is.
We got
it's
it
on
part
here.
2 someday.
Do we get any new sports titles? As in, like, yeah, we had Mario Strikers, but do we return to baseball? Do
Sluggers.
we return to
Don't forget
basketball?
They'll bring back sluggers. Basketball, I'm not as sure on. I'm pretty sure they'll bring back sluggers.
Yeah, I think I agree with Nate. I think Sluggers is coming.
What do you think, Mike?
Nintendo Switch Sports Part 3.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll get them. Just don't know if we're gonna get sluggers. Nintendo. You guys obviously know that. What were they? They're the owners of the Seattle Mariners,
Yeah,
and so they had the Ken Griffey Jr. games for the long time, and then
so good.
after it seemed like they stopped with Ken Griffey, and that was in the GameCube era,
Mhm.
and I think that's when they kind of knew that they were going to be distancing themselves, like, no longer owning the team. So they didn't feel obligated probably to make any sort of baseball game, but they did anyways. They made the Mario, Slugfest? Is it
Mhm.
Slugfest? So I just don't know if we're gonna get baseball anymore.
Hmm.
I don't know. We'll see. All right, but again, ice climbers, yes or no?
No.
Yes. And it's going to have some of the most sophisticated graphics we've seen on a Nintendo game. It's going to be a cinematic experience with photorealistic graphics. Think Uncharted with a heartbreaking story that leaves you gripping on the edge of your seat. Think
In VR.
Cliffhanger meets Uncharted.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Don't forget VR. In VR.
If there's a VR, yes.
What do you think, Nate?
Hmm. No comment.
Okay, I'll leave you guys with this one, the last one for today. Do we? And this is going to be a trio of games, but I already know what you guys' answer is probably going to be. But do we get anything in the Mario edutainment scene, as in Mario
Yeah.
Paint, Mario is missing, Mario's time machine,
Mario typing.
Mario's missing.
Mario teaches typing, yeah,
Mario's missing was kind of replaced by Luigi's Mansion, wasn't it?
Hotel Mario.
Hotel Mario was also replaced by Luigi's Mansion, wasn't it? Mario's missing Luigi's Mansion, so why have Mario missing again? Makes sense. I'm Mario.
It's true, yeah. So probably not on that one.
Yes, there'll be some sort of phone app, but I won't have to do a Switch 2. So I guess no for Switch 2.
That doesn't count. You cheated again.
I said no.
Mario Paint would be cool.
Mario Paint.
Mario Paint would have been perfect on the Wii when they first introduced the motion controls.
Completely agree.
Like it makes too much sense. It's kind of like the Pokemon Snap on the Wii U. It made so much sense. It's stupid it didn't happen.
Weren't they developing Mario Paint for 64 DD?
Mm.
I don't remember.
I'm not sure.
Or did it come out in Japan only? No, it didn't come out. Let me see. Yeah, it was called Mario Artist Paint Studio. It released in 1999. Yeah, it's based off of Mario Paint, but it's not called Mario Paint.
So it would be cool.
Well,
Wow.
Mike thought it would be cool if Mario Paint was released.
You thought it was cool if Mario Paint was released. Got it.
No, I'm saying if they made a new Mario Paint, like and took advantage of the new functionality of the Joy-Cons and the camera that it has here and the motion controllers, so that you can kind of like point at the TV, it's kind of paint stuff, you know.
Oh boy.
It's my
Mike's
All right.
all sorts of.
That's my little rant.
Again, I could go on forever. There's more games, guys. If we missed one of them, I'll get them on the next one because I still have games on the list, but we can't do this all night because Nate has so many rumors to talk about. And so I hope he's ready. I hope his body's ready because there's a lot of rumors to talk about. So Nate,
Whenever
take it
about
away.
you gotta do the dance.
I'm gonna take a brief intermittence break to get my body ready for this. So give me a second.
Every day I wake up waiting out the door. Nintendo news I can't ignore. Hovering my finger on refresh, repeat. Searching for the leak, my heart's gotta beat. My body is ready for Switch 2. Can't wait much longer, what about you? Standing in line just to hear something new. Nintendo, come on, give us a clue. Rumors flying, but nothing confirmed. It's been a mystery, my patience burned. Gotta level up with my imagination in this endless game and stimulation. Whoa, my body is ready for Switch 2. Can't wait much longer, what about you? wants a peek, a hint, or a sigh. Just a little nod won't make us cry. Joy-Cons at the ready, hearts in sync. Nintendo dragging on, making us think. We've been resetting time until we get our love for Mario, it never ends. Zelda's gathered from the nether horizon. This weight is harder than fighting in us think. My body is ready for Switch 2. Whoa, 2. Can't wait much longer, what about you? About you? Standing in line just to hear something new. Nintendo, come on, give us a clue. My body is ready. My body is ready. My body is ready. My body is ready for Switch 2. My body is red. My body is red for Switch 2.
All right, my body better be ready for Switch 2 because Mike's body is ready for Switch 2. Yes, folks, he sang. I don't know how he made it, but he sang it. He is a maestro over there. Let's go ahead and finally talk about Switch 2. We had some crazy stuff happen on Christmas. Let's just start there because, my lord, there's this user by the name Next Handheld, right? We talked about it like a week and a half ago, went over some of his stuff. He had a giant list of things he answered in a Q&A saying that he went hands-on and he sent moderators, images of the Switch 2 dock and yada, yada. And look, I saw the images. A lot of people saw the images, but weren't being shared publicly because, hey, if this is an insider, we don't want him to get in trouble, get fired. A lot of us had questions about the images, but also, hey, they kind of looked like it was at least a real object, if nothing else. And The Verge even went and made a whole article on it saying, hey, they even got a third image that some of us didn't get. And they're like, that third image is what convinced them. And it's kind of this wild ride because he promised he would show stuff or show proof on Christmas. Then he tried to back out of it, and a bunch of people were mad at him. So he didn't back out of it. But the way he chose to show it and then say nothing for like 12 hours made everyone go, well, this is fake as shit. And it all starts because the image he chose to share has AI all over it. It is this image right here. Let's see if it pops up. So he chose to share this image. He did it over on X. And there's a lot of issues with the image overall. The background's AI generated, like 100%. You can run this through all the AI testers. It's all like AI generated in the background, okay? If you crop the image to just the center part where the console is, and then you run it through AI checkers, it passes. Okay, so why would somebody AI generate a background, but yet maybe the console is real? Well, the reasoning would be, in this case, if you want to believe that this particular image is real, would be so you don't show what's in the actual background and protect where you took the picture at, right? You don't want to have the real background back there, yada, yada, okay? Another thing is the Nintendo logo that's right here. This is like mirrored or whatever. That people kind of figure out that it's mirrored. But actually, if you zoom in on where this is, which I can't do in this software that we're in, the Nintendo logo was photoshopped in. The Nintendo logo is not actually part of it. If you go in, you can actually see the brush tool they used to erase whatever was behind the Nintendo logo, and then they slapped the logo on top of that. Now, why would they do that? I don't know. I don't know why they would do that. There's a few little brush marks over by the plus as well. But what's interesting is the reason that we think we know what is over here where the Nintendo logo is. Apparently, it's just legal mumbo jumbo. And that is because Spiromancer, who saw this image without the background, he was sent the image without the background. His has a minus on it with no Nintendo logo, and instead it's some legal mumbo jumbo, and he claims it's from the other side. Well, if you mirror this the correct way, it would be the exact same image. He just added the extra line on the plus and then put the Nintendo thing on there. For some reason, he's trying to hide even details on the actual system. Maybe the legal mumbo jumbo, maybe there's a model number or a serial number there as well. That could be one of the things. Is like, hey, I want to hide that because then Nintendo will instantly know where this was if there's a serial number or something like that in there. So I can understand why we want to hide. But again, for the longest time, this was the only thing shown publicly. And so everyone was like, this shit is fake because it's AI generated. There's like brush marks on here, whatever. This, by the way, the kickstand here is that U-shaped design. And you can see like these hinges are like the exact same hinges the OLED has. Like really strong hinges. Okay, cool. Also, some people point out that, hey, wouldn't there be like a Nintendo Switch logo, the Switch 2 logo on the back? Yeah, maybe. But this could also, this might not be a retail unit. So who knows? Maybe the logo would be there. I have no idea, right? We haven't actually seen a retail unit, so we don't know. Let me see. Let me grab the next image here. Well, one of the moderators decided over on the Nintendo Switch 2 Reddit to say, hey, he's tired of everyone saying it's AI because this wasn't an image he was shown. He was shown the same images that I saw. This being one of them. Whenever it shows up. So this image is something. This is an image that everyone on the podcast crew saw as well because I shared it with them. This image appears to be of the back of a dock, right? It's got all the legal stuff here. This stuff passes AI checkers. AI checkers all say it's 100% real, zero chance of it being made by AI. All the legal marks here are correct. The only missing one is Russia, but that makes a lot of sense that Russia's missing because Nintendo no longer operates in Russia, and they're probably not going to sell products directly in Russia. They'll probably just be imports there. Okay, cool. This could be a dock. Obviously, it's missing the back plate, but okay, quite interesting. People didn't really have a lot of issues with this image, and this might actually be the real background of where he's at as well. Because as we're going to see in a moment, something changed because the user is pissed that this image got leaked out. I have been told Next Handheld is pissed. He did not give permission for these images to get out. And so since it's already out, he decided that, well, you know what? Fuck it. Right. So there was a second image. Let me grab that one here. That is right here. This is of the front of the supposed Switch 2 dock. Now you see the Nintendo Switch 2 logo. Now, what was interesting about this is Pioro looked at it, and Pioro basically said that's the logo. For those who don't know who Pioro is, he showed it to other people. They said it's the logo. Cool. Some people think the logo is messed up. It's hard to know because like the perspective and everything, and I can show some evidence later that shows actually the perspective is correct. But again, we don't have the full wide shot of this one yet. We might get it eventually, and it might shed some light on things. But well, after the debate raged most of the day on Christmas, if this guy was fake or real, and like people saying, "Oh, these shots might be of a real thing, but maybe the logo's faked," and even though technically photo experts looked at it, and there's no photoshopping on this actual image, even though people assume there is. But what you could assume is that last image was a real product, but it was a dock for something else, like a laptop. And then this front image maybe is a real physical product, but it got 3D printed, right? With a fan logo or something, right? Like that was kind of the prevailing thought because that first image of the side of the system that The Verge said was like the confirmation. Obviously, it was AI. There's a lot of AI involved in it. So it's like, okay, so this guy's just yanking our chain, right? Just an elaborate hoax. Well, then he decides to drop this image. And this is now the one that has everyone talking. This is the full back of the dock image, not a cropped one anymore. Now, the background is, again, AI generated. You notice this background is different than the wood table and the yellow wall that we saw in the original crop. But, of course, if this is the full wide shot, then like there's going to be more details to reveal where the person is. It actually makes sense that they would AI generate backgrounds to protect where they're at to try not to get in trouble. This image has been examined very closely by several engineers as well as photo experts in the video game industry. There is zero photoshopping done on the actual image outside of, you see these edges, you can clearly see that it was like copy pasted in. right? Like he highlighted the section out of the original photo and then pasted it into the AI background. But nothing on the actual unit is photoshopped, and there's actually evidence of injection molding on here, just like we have with the prototypes for the Switch 2 before. So, knowing that this is not 3D printed, knowing that the object itself is real, question one, before we get into anything else Next Handheld said, do you think these are real leaks for Nintendo Switch 2?
I do. I think
A huge chunk of the internet, after actually going through, okay, there's a big chunk of the internet thinks it's fake, right? Especially because of that first image. But the thing is, the people that actually dive deep on these conversations, have them every day, that's where the deep diving went into it, where they're like, actually, no one can deny that this is real. Like, this is a real object, and it is an injection molded object, and no one can seem to find any other dock, because it's definitely a dock. You can see there's a lip here with a gap. You would put something in. We can't find any laptop docks or anything else that looks remotely close to this one. This is a unique item that we've never seen before.
Mm-hmm. You know what? What makes me excited about this is that you could tell already that this has better hardware within the dock than the piece of plastic we have over here, which is just like a little box and just like the little thingy with the little prong, right? Here, you could see not just the right part of it where you have all the outlets for the HDMI, USB-C, and 2 USB-A ports. It has more vents, right? The top and then the bottom. And then on the bottom, right, you see the vents on the bottom. Then the 4 screws you have there kind of hint like there might be a board inside there too, maybe like a little board, and it could potentially be involved in having helping the Switch kind of have high resolutions on dock mode, like help it process better when it comes to
the general consensus, and this is also based on some of the shipping documents, is housed in this fatter section in the on the right is obviously that's probably where all the ports are and everything, right?
Yeah,
you can have USB ports or HDMI, etc. And apparently, according to the guy, it's got the same stuff as Switch OLED. To much chagrin, some people wanted a USB-C port we could actually use, not just for power, but whatever. I think it's fine for the most part. All the accessories are going to support USB-A, but I do think that he mentioned in the Q&A something about how someone asked him if there's a fan in the dock, and he said that is the correct question, meaning that maybe there's actually a fan in the dock, because the shipping documents say there's 2 fans per Switch, which in theory there could be 2 fans inside the Switch too. Yeah. But there's also the theory that one of those fans might actually be for the dock, because they're going to boost things so high in dock mode that actually they could just provide the extra cooling by forcing more air through the system with a fan on the dock, and actually save on battery power by not putting it in the actual tablet. So that is obviously theoretically possible here, especially since, like, if you remember on the Switch dock, it's just like a little tiny square for, there's like no cooling on it. Like, I have my Switch OLED dock here. Like, it's literally just this little square down here. It's just the board and the ports. There's nothing else going on there. There's no cooling there. All the vents are over here. But here they got air, here they got air vents on the bottom and up the top, suggesting that there must be some sort of airflow going on inside the dock to have vents on the top and the bottom. Then you have your vents over here, and we know that based on the Switch 2 renders, it brings in air through the bottom. So having the vents down here makes sense. So you wonder if, like, the system is maybe, and maybe the fan is just an exhaust fan. Even maybe it's just like, hey, we're going to suck in all the air from over here, and then we're going to use like the top, and we're just going to suck all the air out the top of it. I don't really know how obviously the Switch 2 airflow design is right now, but it looks like it goes just top to bottom to top, but we don't know 100%. So my consensus here is that this is obviously a real product. This is a real image. There was some theories that maybe it's a third-party dock. But I look at this as this matches most of the descriptions of the dock we've seen. The only thing, like, some people think that it's like it's not wide enough. It's just the angle, guys. Like, angle, if you take this and you look at it at a certain angle, it doesn't look quite as wide. So also the dock doesn't need to be super wide, to be fair. I think that this could be real. The dock could be real, which then brings the question, well, then the side view of the Switch 2, if it's mirrored correctly and we, get rid of the Photoshop parts that might be hiding, some sort of serial numbers or something, that could end up being real as well. And it would make sense if because usually serial numbers are hidden, right? Underneath a kickstand, or hey, in this case, in a side rail for the joint. I can absolutely see them hiding a serial number in there, which would explain why they just got rid of it and put a Nintendo logo. And what Spiromancer did not see said Nintendo logo, and Spiromancer has not leaked the image he saw. He just said there was no background on his image at all. So,
Yeah.
I think that my personal thoughts is I think this is like 70%. I'm pretty sure this is real. It could not be, of course. I don't know. I've never seen the damn thing, but this looks pretty real to me. And that to me makes everything this guy has said about the system matter, because he recently said after this went up, he did get a second opportunity with the system over the last week, and he did get to power it on. So there's some stuff we can talk to about that as well. But first, we got to keep going around. Gamer, do you think this shit's real? You think it's a very, very elaborate hoax?
Man, I'm kind of 50-50 on this one. I mean, if it is a hoax, like you said, it is an extremely elaborate one. If all the checks and balances are saying that there's nothing AI about this device, this is a legit tangible object, it is very convincing. However, I lean on the side. I'm in the middle. I lean on the side of I hope it's not the real doc, as well as a lot of the other leaked rumors. I'm leaning on the side of, or I'm hoping that they're not legit, and that we're just going to be in for a really big surprise on what this device is actually going to look like. One, because I think obviously it's really cool getting the leaks and having the opportunity to discuss them. But when Nintendo hits you with something that you're like, oh my gosh, this is the Switch 2. We were all wrong. This is it. It's a really cool feeling. So I still want that shock value. The other part of it too is that makes me hope some of these aren't real and kind of edge me closer to the 50-50 than maybe the 70% on these are real, is that everything we've seen leaked for the Switch 2 looks so similar to the Nintendo Switch. And obviously it's a successor, it's a part 2, but I feel like it needs, other than the logo having a 2, I feel like it needs more of a visual indicator that this is the new piece of hardware, whether it's the dock having a radically different design, which this one doesn't, or the device having some big distinction between the two. From what we've seen, lots of it's been those white Joy-Cons on the bigger screen with the buttons in the back. And at first glance, it looks just like an OLED. When I think that the Switch 2, it's a great naming convention, but when I think PS1 to PS2 to PS3 to PS4 to PS5, they look radically different. They have that same order of naming conventions. Nintendo, even the NES to the Super Nintendo to the 64 to the Wii. Yes, go ahead. Sorry.
So you mentioned all the PlayStations, right? Obviously, use the numbers.
Yes.
What are you looking at when you're playing a PlayStation?
You're looking at the TV.
Has your TV changed a whole lot?
No.
Okay. Switch has a screen on it. Do you really think it's going to change a whole lot?
No, but when I think of the jump from the DS to the 3DS,
but
the 3D
going to look like a DS
a little bit, but with I don't want to go over and grab them. The 3DS looks like a more sleek, modern, and premium device. At first glance, the photos we've seen of what may be the Switch 2, it's hard to distinguish it between an OLED. At the very least, I love the thought of the color scheme just being wildly different. The white Switch 2 with the black or the dark gray buttons doesn't do it. Release an indigo colored one.
Indigo.
Have a matte black one, and then have the atomic colors like the Nintendo 64 days. Something that I
have one other
this is a cool new device. I think the white and the black is so similar to your base gray Switch and your
Sure.
white OLED. So like that part of me leans me 50-50 because I do wonder, like, is it going to look that similar? Will it have that kind of modern edge? And obviously some of these leaked photos, the dock, it has this rounded back. There's obviously something different about this. I like the idea of
the front's also shorter. You can see in this photo the front.
Yes, you can tell it's a little shorter. I love the idea of the open front.
The dock, one difference I see on this dock, some people mention, it's not wide. I think the dock's taller. And that's why
taller,
yeah. Like it's a taller dock. So the dock it's bigger with a shorter front, rounded back. That's already like pretty significantly different than the current dock.
It is.
No, I think some people were thinking significantly different. Just get rid of the front, let the screen be exposed. Yeah, but I don't think they're going to do anything with the screen being exposed at all. I think it's
maybe not.
I think that covers there to, like the front part they feel is important for two things: branding. There'll be a Switch 2 logo there, and then so when everybody looks at your TV and sees a dock, it says Switch 2 just right in front of your face. And then 2 is just basic protection for kids and stuff when they're pulling and putting it in, so they don't drop the damn thing. It's kind of one of those, like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I say that about the dot design because I feel like that's reminiscent of what we've seen with these 3D scan third-party accessory mock-ups that we're seeing. Because maybe my counter of has your TV changed much? No, the console can change all you want, but you don't really look at it when you play games. A device you look at every day is a phone. Can you tell me which iPhone this is?
Right. And I totally get that. I understand what you're saying about the phones.
Consumers
I don't think it's
the difference. Consumers don't need like drastic changes.
Yes, and I totally get that. I don't think.
I think you want it. You want it to be drastic.
Yeah, I just want it because as believable as a lot of these leaks are, a lot of them make so much sense. And like you said, this looks pretty damn legitimate. I hate the boring side of how they look. And again, that could be solved with colors. I know with some of the leaked images, and I apologize for being so long-winded.
No,
some of the leaked images had kind of like, how do I describe it? Like the edges of the Joy-Cons had more of like a sharp kind of curvature in them. There was some of them, it almost looked like it kind of like indents a little bit, like a little bit more grip. And that's cool to me. If that's something that I can see and feel, I'm like, oh yeah, this looks and feels different other than the screen just being bigger, then right on for that. But right now, like part of me is like, I don't know. I'm just 50-50. I think it looks a little too samey, a little too boring. Even if the 2 had didn't just look like that generic 2, maybe the 2 was kind of like a fun looking 2.
I think they don't do the fun looking 2. I'll tell you why. I think they're going with like a professional looking 2. They know what the audience for Switch is. They have the numbers. Adults like sleek, simple designs. Think about the operating system on Switch. It's very simple, very sleek, very easy. Look at the Switch logo. Very sleek, very simple. Even the click sound makes sense because you're sliding it. The logo slides. Everything just is in symmetry and just makes sense. And it's a very like when Switch came out, it felt like a very premium device. At the time. Now today, maybe it doesn't feel as premium, but you put a Switch OLED up next to your phone, it kind of feels like a premium phone. It kind of feels nice in that way. And I feel like Nintendo, again, we haven't seen this damn thing, right? We don't even know for 100% sure it's called Switch 2. We think it's called Switch 2, but we don't know. What I find interesting is if they did just go for what basically looks like a Switch, and I think it fits for some simple reasons. If it is just a sequel system or a successor, as they keep calling it, well, Switch is a family of systems. They talked about this a long time ago. Mm-hmm. So the Switch family of systems, a Switch is going to look like a Switch, and it's going to keep looking like a Switch until they're not making Switches anymore. And just like a phone looks like an iPhone looks like an iPhone, and it's going to keep looking like an iPhone until they make a folding one or something else, right? And they might come up with a different brand name for it. They probably won't. It'll be iPhone Fold, or I don't know. You know what? It has to be some made up Apple term. So never mind. I forgot. It's not AI. It's Apple Intelligence. So it's got to be something. Apple's got to invent their own way. They can't call it a fold. But I just feel like, and again, I actually appreciate your skepticism because obviously I deal in the realm. I'm covering this stuff every day. a lot of people really believe this stuff. I see the skepticism in the comments, but a lot of those comments aren't following the whole story, everything. They're only commenting on like one picture and then diving out, not watching the whole video. So all I can really say is I'm not here to convince you. Obviously, the real thing, I think it's getting announced next month. It's getting announced bare minimum by the end of March. So for sure, like officially, that's what Nintendo has put out there. So like we're gonna know fairly soon what it looks like. If the stuff is real. But I do just tell people, like, what do you expect the Switch 2 to look like at this point, man? Like, it's another Switch.
Yeah.
The big part of it, and I know it's such like a super the visuals of the console is such a superficial thing. I think the big part of it is seeing the white Joy-Cons with the black buttons. I'm like, oh, it's an OLED. You know what I mean? I think if there was like a unique color,
there was one difference. So the person who leaked this, he put out there that he knew about 3 color variation thingies. One of them was the dark gray. He's actually corrected. Dark gray is matte black, which is kind of what matches this dock here, like a matte black kind of color. Okay, cool. But he said he didn't see it, but he was told there's also going to be a white version. And what's different with the white version isn't just the white Joy, because you're like, oh, Switch OLED, right? White Joy-Cons.
Right.
The console itself is also white.
Yeah.
Now that is different.
Yes, that is different.
The whole thing is white, like that. Now I don't know if that's going to be at launch. They're going to have those 2 color variations at launch, because remember they technically had 2 color variations for Switch at launch with the controllers, right? We had our neon red and blue, and then we had our black or our gray, I guess they call it. So I could see, are they going to launch a black and a white one? I mean that would actually be fairly unique, in terms of that white one. I can see that white one being what a lot of, like, if the white one's real and they announce that, I can see that being what a lot of those YouTubers use, because that's the one that looks drastically, like, color wise different.
Yeah.
From anything we've done before. And then he mentioned obviously one that will have a 9. So it's related to a game with a 9 in it. Everyone jumped to Mario Kart, of course. I don't think this is going to be at launch, by the way. This sounds like a special edition.
Yeah.
But it could be Mario Kart that happens later down the line. It could also be Final Fantasy IX Remake, which is rumored to be happening to Square Enix. Seems like Square Enix is all in on Switch 2. So if that's the case, and they wanted to partner with them to make a really big deal about Final Fantasy coming back to Nintendo, I could see them being like, hey, let's do it like we did with Monster Hunter. We did a really big Monster Hunter themed one in Japan. Let's do a Final Fantasy themed one for Final Fantasy IX Remake, and like really let the world know Final Fantasy's back on Nintendo. And again, Final Fantasy's been on Nintendo, but it's just been bringing the retro games back, right? Like we haven't gotten any modern stuff. So, so that would be kind of cool if that was the case. I'm all for it either way, because they never did a Mario Kart themed Switch. Despite 60 million plus 70 million, we never got a Mario Kart theme. So I'm cool if they want to just start right out the gate with a Mario Kart themed Switch within 6 months. That would be sick. But anyways,
can I add
real quick? Was there a leak? I maybe I'm just like misremembering, but I do feel like one of the leaks showed that like the Joy-Cons had kind of more like sharper edges instead of squared off, like a little bit more rounded and sharper, and a little bit of like it tapers in the middle of the Joy-Con. Is that correct, or am I?
Yeah. So the 3D scan, I've seen the 3D scan. I wish I had the files, but I've seen pictures of the 3D scan, and we've seen it on some of the print offs. So the Joy-Cons, they look like, if you just glance at it, it looks the same. If you just take a quick glance, but they're actually more ergonomic. They're still flat on the back, but they kind of tapered it in a little bit towards your palm, so it sits in your palm a little bit better and nicer. And then it's even going up, it's not like straight up. It's kind of like it goes like this and kind of curves up a little bit, then back in to add a little more, curvature to your fingers when you go around it, to be more natural instead of being like a 90-degree turn, which is kind of what it is right now.
Sure.
So it does sound like improve some ergonomics there, but it's kind of like they did it in subtle ways rather than like you could just glance and tell right away.
Right. Yeah. Well, maybe if these are real, and when Nintendo officially reveals this the way, and this stuff is indeed real, maybe getting that quality trailer, we're going to see maybe some of those more premium or modern upgrades.
If the magnetic stuff is real, you just know every commercial is going to be zing! They're just going to emphasize
I want that. I want them to keep that snap sound, but to update it to incorporate some sort of a magnetic pull. Yeah.
Yeah.
So adding to the whole color scheme and Nintendo, right? One thing we have to notice is that Nintendo has finally perfected the form factor they've been working on for the past since the 80s. They've been releasing 2 consoles every single generation, and this time they're down to 1 console that is hybrid. And so no matter what, moving forward, they will not go crazy when it comes to the form factor. They will keep it similar, maybe adjust the Joy Cons a little bit, different controllers in different shapes, but the screen will always be the same, maybe bigger, maybe flatter, maybe thinner. But the form factor, they are there. It's I think it's perfect. They can only improve upon that. When it comes to the design factor, working with Apple for 10 years now, I can tell you that white and black are the general tech theme colors. If an iPhone launches, the first one is white and the second one is black, and then in between there's different colors that they will launch later on. For example, the Joy-Con. So I can see exactly where you come from, gamer, because you are an artistic person. You like art. You are an artist. You're an actor. So basically, it's like when you're looking for something explosion of colors, something that's not boring, something that's completely different than what you've seen already, just to kind of capture your imagination, right?
It's true. At least the buttons, even like the Super Famicom colored buttons would be like a visual cue. Yes, new buttons,
And Nintendo, unfortunately, being a tech company, will not go that far. They will just kind of give you iterations, especially with Furukawa. Furukawa is a safe man. He's a money guy, and I trust me, Furukawa will take Nintendo to new heights when it comes to their financials, their profits, and everything, just because of his mindset and what we've heard so far with what's happening with the Switch. I believe this. I do believe this is a real dock. Just because I don't know, some feeling I have, and I love the fact that the back of it's completely round, because even with what you're seeing here, you can see the missing part, right? There's
obviously the missing part.
Yeah, the 2 prongs that are there, where you connect the missing part, and then towards the bottom there's like a little dent below
guide clip thing.
Yeah. So you can kind of guide it down and then clip it up like that. I'm excited for what Nintendo's doing, but I can actually relate to Gamebird, as somebody who likes the art as well. I want to see color. I want to see something that kind of gets you exciting, and also the leaks kind of take away the fun of the big reveal, the big stage thing, right? So
yeah.
Well, say that if the big reveal is that it looks like a lot like a Switch, then that's not really like what's exciting. It's the games.
The games, yeah, I agree.
And you're absolutely right. That's why I said I know this is like a superficial thing.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be pumped. There could be zero difference.
Yeah, it looks
between
just
the
like
way
an
it
OLED,
looks.
and yet, dude, you show me a game that blows my fucking mind, I'm there day one.
Yeah, I'm getting Mario and Zelda in maybe 4K and with DLSS upscaling and beautiful visuals. Seeing what Nintendo does with their own IP on more powerful hardware. I'm sold no matter what. I'm gonna be hyped. I'm gonna think it's the coolest thing no matter what. I'm just saying, from these, I'm 50-50 on it. Part of it is that it's so similar. It's got a little bit of a boring factor to me personally that makes me be like, well, I don't know. Will they make it look so much like the OLED? And maybe they will. But regardless, I'm going to be stoked. I also like the idea of being blown away and be like, wow, we were all way off. That's always a cool feeling too.
Before I get to Dash's thoughts quick, I'll bring up this one super chat that we had, because I think it's a little bit relevant to it, because everyone thought the Switch Lite show was fake as well. Because the Switch Lite show came out, some of the text was reversed, which I guess if people don't know, that's actually very common in manufacturing for pre-production of final units. They reverse all the language so they know that hey, this is not a retail. This is basically retail, but this is not meant to be sold. This is just for testing purposes. So even though we're not seeing that here, which makes us feel like this could be a retail final version of the dock, it's important to know that like everyone thought that was fake as well back in the day, and it turned out to be real. Same thing happened, by the way, when we had the leak for the Tears of the Kingdom Special Edition. Mm-hmm. Everyone thought that was fake as well. Yeah, we had the box and everything. Nope, it was all real. So it's one of those things where like these leaks from manufacturing aren't abnormal for Nintendo. They keep happening, and it wouldn't be shocking if this was another one of those leaking out of testing or QA testing or whatever. The stuff is maybe getting out there, but we'll see. We don't know because again, it hasn't been revealed yet. It's not like the Switch Lite where they ended up revealing it and we know. Well, okay, how about now, Stash? Do you think this is real or do you think it's fake?
I'm leaning towards thinking it's real, and it's a gut feeling.
Yeah, like so you know that we had the images of the dock, the vertical slices. Like, yeah, this looks pretty good.
Yep.
But also it was like, but whatever. Then he drops the AI image thing, and you're like, man, maybe this is an elaborate hoax. But then he drops this, and I'm like, well, oh shit, it's injection molded. We already know that's fucking expensive, so no one's faking doing that.
Yep.
So it's a real product, whatever it is. My whole thing is like he showed this, so like why not eventually? And he might drop it over time because like at this point, if he was going to lose his job, he might as well milk the fuck out of this, right? I mean, I'd do the same fucking thing if I'm about to lose my job.
I agree.
So like we know he's got a full shot of the front because he already showed the vertical slice with the logo. So we know he's got a full shot of the front that he could show anytime, and that might tell some details. Maybe he's got other shots of the actual console he hasn't shown yet, so who knows? And again, this obviously you care if it's real, if it's not real, whatever. I mean, the bottom line is the games are why we buy systems anyways. But I do think it's interesting because there's a whole bunch of stuff going on with this. Like if I let me share my screen here. We have this forum called the Nintalk forum, guys. If you guys ever want to check it out, it's just nintalk.community.forum. And all the leaks have been kind of getting posted up here in this thread. And there's some interesting stuff to like bring up here. Like this is where someone was trying to point out that like the logo doesn't match up, right? Like the angles aren't correct, even though it's not photoshopped. Like it could be a really bad 3D print, like a really bad fan logo kind of thing. And so he's a fraud and everything. But then all of a sudden, other things started to line up. So here's those prototypes, right? The prototype Joy-Con we saw from October of 2023. So these might not be final design Joy-Con, to be fair. But we do know these existed at one point as a prototype.
Yeah.
These line up perfectly to fit inside here. All the dimensions line up perfect to fit inside. Which, when people say that this, like the actual system, they're trying to say, oh, the system's AI generated. The system AI generations have never been able to be this exact. Not yet, anyways. Someday, maybe, but not quite yet. So there's that. And then someone did the actual measurements here and showed like how everything measures up perfect with what the prototype ones were showing that we know to be prototypes. But then this person over on Family Boards, they did 3D mapping of the logo, which is really important to note because the logo is either embossed or what's the opposite of that? There's where it either comes out or comes in. I can't remember. Anyways, there's a name for it. So they did 3D mapping of it. And when you 3D map it, it actually does line up. So it could just be literally shadows and eye trickery going on with that photo. It's making you think that things don't line up. But when you actually look at like a 3D, version, it actually lines up. So kind of interesting. And then we get into all this other stuff where like he had an opportunity to turn on a Switch 2. And it says, I actually had to turn one on finally. It was a series of testing JavaScripts to see what hardware checks in for QA. Well, some of what I know is through engineers who have the console. I can, of course, confirm what he's seen. Now, he mentions later that he saw, what was it? That his available things he could test, and were all pass-fail, were battery, microphone. So that's cool. Now, we've already seen in the scans that there might be a microphone, but it's like, it's the first time we've seen it mentioned by somebody who might have touched one. And then I forgot what the other one was, screen or something. They were just like very basic functions. And this person, as a former indie dev that worked with Switch games, he came in to say like they wouldn't have JavaScript for QAing the system because the system doesn't use JavaScript that way. But he does say that doesn't mean that he's lying, because while there wasn't any JavaScript for the SDK for Switch, just a C++ one, he does wonder if they were actually testing a built-in WebKit browser applet. So that would run through JavaScript, and Nintendo would obviously have a few scripts to test and run a demo for certain functionality for devs In this case, it could be from a third-party testing company that Nintendo contracted to help them catch any potential exploits in the browser. If you remember, there's exploits in the current browser where you can access the browser on Switch through forgetting your password when you're logging in on social media. You can actually access the web browser. So what actually might be happening here is that this isn't a test for the functionality of the system. This is a test for the functionality of the applet browser and its ability to detect battery, its ability to detect the microphone, its ability to detect the screen, and making sure that all passes. So it's like a bug test sort of thing. So this person's actually saying, just because this wouldn't line up with an SDK doesn't mean it wouldn't line up with something Nintendo would want to test for. And it would actually, the fact that he sees JavaScript, he might have potentially narrowed down where the leak came from if it's real. He actually might have, without realizing it, gave Nintendo a little bit too much information, the ninjas, on what facility this might have came from that would specifically be testing the WebKit. So he might have met a dinner noopsie by saying anything without realizing it. But so I find this all really interesting. There's not we'll get into that last part here in a little bit. Let me unshare the screen. So let's humor him a bit and say that, all right, maybe this is real. We don't know. It seems like 50-50 is the worst that we're like a coin flip, right? Well, there's other things that he talked about. 60 watt on the dock, 45 watt for the Switch when docked. That is a massive boost over like the 19 watts that Switch uses. That's exciting. That's power, baby. That's exciting. And you have like extra. Well, why would it be 60 watts? Well, because if it's using 45, that extra 15 would be to charge it while you're using it. Duh. And there's headroom. Like Nintendo Switch has a very weird power draw. It's not standard at all. That's why we're having all those issues with third-party docks bricking switches, because it's not a standard power. It's a 60 watts, a more standard one. But like, the dock was taking in significantly more power than I think it was like closer to like 40 watts or something was taken in compared to the 19 that it uses. So double. This would mean it could potentially charge a little slower while in use, but also charge really, really fast when not in use. So like fast charging is probably there in some capacity. Like it might even be able to take a full 45 watt fast charge, which would be sick. That would be sick. Like if you like playing mobile and you're like, well, I don't care about playing in docked mode. Okay, fine, but the fucking dock can charge it at 45 watts. That'd be sick. That's awesome. That's fast. That's fast fucking charging. I'll take that. Apple charges you like $120 to get that. So got to buy for a brick. Stupid. Anyways, no. So there's that. There's like a giant like laundry list of shit he talked about. Most of it I would say is not like super exciting because again, he didn't get to play any games on it or really talk in that way. It's just like, how does it feel? What do the buttons do? He said like those buttons on the back are the extra buttons are just release buttons. That's what they are. That's what he used to release it. He's also claiming that now that I'm looking at some updated stuff that basically the Denver Bronco colors are one of the color schemes at launch. The blue and orange.
At launch?
At launch.
So is that the Mario Kart color scheme?
Could
So
be.
the white one might not be for launch. The white one could be later. So matte black and then the Bronco color. Hey, is that related to a game? I don't know. It might be. Kind of like how like the white OLED has like, the white things that came out with Metroid Dread, which was like a white theme, but it technically wasn't a Metroid theme system. Could this be related to a launch game? I have no idea.
Nah, I just think that they were really thinking of Game Bird here with color.
I also think that it feels really close to neon red and neon. It's just like a different shade.
Like these right here.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. So there's that. I don't know if he's going to tell us anymore. I'm sure he will. And again, I want to remember this could be a really elaborate hoax. Do you guys remember the Grinch leak back in the day? Anyone remember the Grinch leak? It was a Switch related leak and it was totally fake. It was completely fake. But everyone believed it for like a month because no one could debunk the images. So I'm going to sit here and be like, I got to be a little careful here. Like, I know, guys, I'm leaning 70-30 on this being real. And to be clear, it helps that Pioro is kind of like, that's the fucking logo. Oh, by the way, 70% of what this guy said, yeah, I already know that to be true. 20% of it, I just don't know because it's not something I've talked about the devs with. And the other 10%, I just don't think is real or contradicts something I heard. Because one of the things he said was he was told 4K 30 in the dock. That would be pretty contradictory because the Switch OLED dock can already support 4K 60. The Switch just doesn't output it. So that would probably be like something that PR would be like, oh, that's contradictory. And he's not saying he even got to test it. That's just what he claims someone told him. So Pioro kind of coming in and being like, well, he looked at the image like, he's like, I don't know if this shit is real, but Pioro looks really excited because he keeps passing the images to his dev buddies and his dev buddies are just nodding their head. So I'm like, all right, so Pioro's fucking on board.
Mm-hmm.
The bird is on board. And that just makes me more excited. But then I'm like, but what am I getting excited about?
Bird is the word.
I'm getting excited about a dock with a round back.
Right.
And that looks like a Switch OLED.
Listen, I have a number here for you.
Exactly. Whether it's real or not, it's not going to change my day to day. I'm still going to wake up. I'm still going to work. I'm still going to do the same things I do every day. You know what I mean?
Are
like
you?
once we see the games.
Are you? Really?
Yeah, right.
Really?
Life
Are you?
will go on just as normal.
You're going to be dreaming round
Yeah,
backs,
we'll see about that, pal.
round backs all night.
What is this, Mike?
What are we doing 13 for? What are we doing, Mike?
That's the same exact days we have till January 8th.
Yes.
That's next. That's next. So separate from all of this. All right. Completely separate, different person. Oh, I will note that he said he heard someone say like mid-March for when it's actually coming out. Who the hell knows? We've heard March, we've heard May, we've heard June. Who the fuck knows? All right. But you guys remember the old Weibo leaker? The old Chinese guy who got all the things right for the June Direct.
Yeah.
He started doing a countdown. And the countdown conveniently was going to end on January 8th. So everyone's like, oh, he's obviously teasing the Switch 2 reveal date, right? That's what Mike was referencing, the January 8th. And that is one of the weeks people do believe it could be revealed in January. The people that the dates that people believe the most are the second week and the fourth week. Some want to go fifth week right before the investors meeting. Some want to go first week of January or first week of February, whatever. Point is that is one of the weeks believed that it could happen. It's the week before Donkey Kong. And people are like, well, the week before Donkey Kong, maybe they don't think it's going to be a big seller. Maybe they don't think it's going to hurt sales because they're announcing backwards compatibility. And they'll show Donkey Kong in the trailer. Who knows? Because maybe it'll have improved visuals or 4K textures or something. Who knows? But the big thing about this countdown is that he deleted all of his posts after it gained traction, which, by the way, he deleted all his posts last time he got covered about a January reveal and a March release was what he got covered for. And he deleted all the E3 posts, not the E3 posts, sorry, the June Direct posts, because he was getting attention. And then he privatized his accounts. Only people that follow him can see what he says. So this countdown was going under the radar for a little bit. And then it caught the public eye because obviously people started following him. And so it got out. So he deleted everything. Then he went and updated his profile and put out a new message. He updated his profile and said everything that he's ever said about Switch 2 came from Family Boards. The problem is nothing he said was ever posted at Family Boards until he said it.
Trying to protect himself.
Yeah. So okay. And then he came out and said, no, I forget which game it is, but he said the countdown wasn't for Switch 2. The countdown was for the beta test of this one game. That beta test is actually a week after the 8th. So it doesn't even line up with the game he said it was a beta test for. Not even in Japan. Japan does not have a different beta test date. It is literally the week after. It's the week of Donkey Kong, the beta test for that game. So it's literally not a countdown for that. And people think, because he obviously deleted all his other posts, that the number one thing he's worried about is the ninjas coming after him. And so now it's like, oh, shit. He thought he was safe because he privatized his account. Shit still got out. Now he's like, oh, fuck. No, guys. Nintendo, if you're looking at me, it's all from Family Boards. And I'm just hyped for this one game. And I just was wrong about the date. So the thing is, the guy's biggest claim to fame is that he leaked the entire June Direct. And I mean like exact games. Like all the big announcements weren't anywhere else. He just flew under the radar because he was on Weibo in China and nobody was paying attention over there. So literally nobody knew that he just leaked the whole Direct. Every big game announcement, all of them. There was no other place on the internet that had this level. There was like a game that maybe leaked out. He had all of them. So, okay, cool. And if it's revealed in January, that would be another check mark that he was right, because he was one of the people that said January. So obviously, there's the whole, do we think he's hiding his tracks? Do we think he's scared because maybe he works at a manufacturer or something? Do we think January 8th is a realistic possibility? Or do we think this is all just, hey, we're hungry. It's the internet. We want everything Switch 2. And you know what? This just conveniently fits into that mold of more and more Switch 2 stuff. Or do you think there's something to it because he was so accurate with the June Direct before he deleted everything once he got attention? Let's start with Stash.
I tend to lean towards believing this. I think there's some stock there.
I mean,
And
look, January 8th. I mean, it's 2 weeks.
yeah, as far as January 8th, look, these are all things that we've discussed, right?
Yeah.
On the podcast in the last few weeks. And one of the things, I believe we brought it up last week, is that
Gaming 32, I want to just answer this quick. He has stopped the countdown. He's no longer doing it.
okay.
Even though it wasn't about Switch 2. So then why not continue it?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
I just kind of look at it as we're continuing to get more and more leaks, right? And we talked about this. Does that make Nintendo want to reveal it possibly sooner? But then we talked about, well, ultimately, if the games get leaked, if a game gets leaked, then
That's a big deal.
that's a huge deal. What we're seeing right now, man, this is like free marketing in a sense also for Nintendo, depending on how they want to look at this. It's free hype. Like, we're getting excited about this stuff. Everyone
Everyone's
is.
talking about
We're
it.
hungry.
It also might be beneficial in a way, because if people were expecting, like Game Bird is, something that looks drastically different, but it's not, it's almost like an icebreaker before the reveal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe they
Absolutely.
didn't care. Well, I mean, I'm sure they care, obviously, but because even Kit and Krista believe that next handheld's legit. They've said that already publicly. They think this Weibo person might be legit as well. They went over some people they thought weren't real, and they just said okay, none of this. They don't think it's hurting Nintendo, but they know inside Nintendo they're fucking pissed.
Yeah, they're pissed.
Yeah,
But at the same,
pissed off.
But at the same time, I don't think, let's just say, for the sake of argument, all these leaks are 100% real. Like, we are seeing the Switch 2, we're seeing the Switch 2 dock. Everything, as far as visualizing the hardware, is just out there now. Except for sending lawyers to people and legal team to people, I don't see Nintendo as a reactionary company that's like, oh, it's leaked, we need to get something to reveal the system. So I don't think that's going to affect. It's Nintendo. I think other companies do that for sure, but not Nintendo. At least they don't have a strong history of doing that. They'll just stay quiet, and it's always on their terms. When we want to do it, we're going to do it when we want and how we want. So, but I do think January makes a lot of sense. I'm curious at what capacity we get this reveal. I'm curious if it's more of a teaser reveal in January with maybe the following month or a couple months later, the full blowout reveal. Kind of like how they did with the first Switch. Obviously, there was different conditions for that. The Wii U was a failing system. They wanted to get, some messaging out there, but I don't see harm in giving a tease of what's next and then being like, stay tuned in 2 months. We're doing a full-blown direct with the first year and a half of Switch 2 games, yada, 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 where we deep dive into the features of the console and what you can expect. And then it gets people amped up. We got a taste. This is the Switch 2, and in 2 months, we're getting the full course dinner. So I wouldn't be surprised to see something like that. Maybe they just jump right into, here's Switch 2, and here's everything you can expect in year one. But we'll see. I do think January makes sense. I mean, from from what I recall from a lot of inside sources earlier in the year, it sounds plausible that Nintendo was planning at some point to announce / reveal Switch 2 this year. But I've heard different things. I've heard that they want to make sure they have a really strong lineup, and that's why they pushed it back. I've heard that they want to fight manufacturing shortages, and that's why they kind of held off on stuff. Who knows what the real answer is? But
it's even got more complex than that.
Yeah,
Just because I asked them, they talked to me, and I
he
just read
said, please don't reveal it this year.
I just read something within my wheelhouse that completely convinced me that it is February and not January.
What's that?
So apparently, I'm pretty sure you probably already read this, and it's probably on your list, Nate. So I'm sorry if I'm going ahead.
It's fine.
Pharrell Williams and Sabrina Carpenter are involved in
Pharrell Williams' company.
Yeah. So it says Pharrell Williams and Sabrina Carpenter are involved in producing the music for Switch 2. Now, if that is true, I can see them working during the month of January on that promotional, just making sure everything is all good to go. When is the meeting, by the way?
February 4th.
February 4th?
Yep.
So I can see. Yeah, I just don't see anything happening in January for some reason. I see.
I think they've already done this. They've already made the song.
Yeah,
or it's one of her current songs that they like repurposed. Because remember, she has like Espresso where she literally talks about switching to Nintendo. So what if they wanted to have her sing "Switching to Nintendo Switch 2"? Change the lyric a little bit.
I think that in January we will get an announcement for a special direct in February. That direct will happen.
So an announcement of an announcement.
After that announcement will happen.
You stated last week.
That direct will happen after the meeting. The reason why I say this is because Furukawa said he's gonna just drop things in phases, right? There's been phases. The first phase was announcing that he will be dropping things in phases, and then the second phase is announcing more phases. So right now, the first phase was
I think first phase was May when he said it would be an announcement before the end of the fiscal year. I think second phase was backwards compatibility.
Yeah, that's the second phase.
And phase 3. You know?
And phase 3 is coming in January.
It's going to be the announcement of an announcement.
Yeah, he's gonna. February we're having a major announcement, a special Nintendo Direct where we will announce the Nintendo Switch 2,
sure,
and of course, the rest of the lineup for 2025.
So you think it'll all be in one direct?
Yeah, I think so.
For Switch 2. Okay.
So
it's possible. I'm just not sure.
To complete this story, so Sabrina Carpenter, for those that would be like, oh, would they really use that? Because she's kind of in her concerts and doing the nonsense thing and kind of making sexual references. For starters, name an artist that doesn't. Any popular artist. They use John Cena. Do you know some of the stuff he said? He came in at the back end of the Attitude Era. Come on now. There's some not so family friendly statements that he's made in the past. But who cares?
He's Peacemaker. He's
literally Peacemaker, which is very raunchy. So okay. So there's that. So one, Nintendo's already used someone with Switch that has a good image, but does some raunchy stuff sometimes. But besides that, Sabrina Carpenter has been a massive Nintendo fan, like legitimately a massive Nintendo fan this whole time. Recently seen playing a 3DS for crying out loud at a major event. A 3DS, by the way, not a Switch. Kind of weird, but hey, you know what? She loves her 3DS and games on it. That's fine. But she also hosted an event at Nintendo New York in 2016 for the Disney Art Academy game that was coming out on Nintendo at the time. So she's already hosted an event privately. She obviously used the Nintendo Switch in her really massive hit this year in Espresso that blew up over the summer. And Kit and Krista pointed out that they worked at Nintendo in the department that would manage the celebrity stuff. And they say Nintendo is very happy that their lyric was in that song because it makes Switch part of pop culture.
Yeah.
They're very happy about that. And that might have they even said that lyric could have been could encourage Nintendo to reach out to try to. She's going to be expensive, but she also loves Nintendo.
For real. Yeah.
It's like a great, and she's coming to the end of her tour. It's like a great time for them to team up. But who knows? Obviously,
I
this
don't
is
think
something
she's going to be part of the. I don't think she's going to be a part of the reveal. I
Sure,
think
it might be
if the rumors are true and she's involved, I think that's
Super Bowl
post reveal
commercial.
marketing commercials, like how they did. I believe they did, if I remember, Imagine Dragons for
Yeah, they
Switch.
did. Yep,
Yeah.
they did.
So I feel
also
like
think
that's
that-
how they'd use her.
I also think that if they're going to use it for a commercial and not the reveal, Super Bowl, baby.
For real.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
There you go.
yeah. That would be ideal right there.
There we go. We got it.
So anyway, so that's out there. Obviously, we don't know if it's true or not. It comes from a user at Family Boards who's been correct on stuff in the past, but it's all in hidden posts, so I can't read any of it. So I'm just relying on Reddit who put it out there.
And sometimes with dates, they're true at some point and they change. You know,
Sure.
That's the other part. You know,
I also need to bring this up because we were talking about or Gamebird was. He brought up the whole delay thing, like how is announces a delay and blah 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 blah. Okay. Well, there's somebody that came out today and is refuting the entire fact it was ever delayed. RPG site senior writer James Galizio came out and said, I was literally told explicitly that it was always scheduled for 2025. He also said that that it is now years old info, so 2 to 3 years old, that Nintendo was planning to explicitly launch the system in March of 2025. So the March 2025 stuff dates back years. Like that's apparently, according to him and his sources, been a target this entire time. Now, if it's been delayed from that, that's where he's going. If there is any delay, it's like a month or two from there. But it's not, hey, we're delaying this into a following calendar year kind of thing. Now, to be clear, this is the first person to say this out of all the journalists out there, because all the other journalists corroborated the delayed out of 2024 story. So we got to keep in mind, just because this one person saying it, it's contradicting fellow journalists. And RPG site doesn't cover a lot of stuff with Nintendo. So how good is the person's sources? That's some people bring up as well. But I don't want to dismiss the idea that maybe it was always a 2025 system and it was never planned. And if you look at Nintendo's lineup, I mean, they had games every month, business as usual. So you could argue, well, Nintendo didn't act like it was ever coming out this year. So kind of interesting. It doesn't really change anything at this point, you know. It's kind of a weird time to even say it. Why didn't this guy talk about it back when the reports came out? I find the timing kind of weird. We're getting to the end of 2024, and now you're gonna say, "Well, it was always 2025." Well, motherfucker, it's 2025 in a week.
You're just waiting for it to be here.
For a week. You couldn't say this back when
that's how I'm feeling on this one. Yeah, every opportunity to be like, dude, I've been hearing for a long time. It's 2025. It's
years old info that it's March 2025. Why didn't you say that back in February when everyone, like, that's the one thing that it's like, dude, we're literally, you waited to the last possible moment in 2025 to be like, yeah, it was always 2025. Like, okay, buddy.
That's sure. It. I'm calling it. Clip it. March 7th, 2025.
But it just goes to show like how crazy this is and how we have to be careful. Like, this is a journalist. We have to be careful that, like, well, whether, I don't know who the journalist knows or where he gets his information from or if he's making it up. But the fact that it contradicts everything else and it's coming at the last possible moment in the year, it kind of just feels like it might be a little bit of like, I'm just trying to draw some attention to myself. So people check out my website and check out what I'm writing there. Even though this isn't on that website, it's in a community that now might pay more attention to him because of this. So they'll be like, oh, well, let's go check out his articles. Let's go read his stuff. Who is this guy? So you gotta be remember, like we're in the prime territory right before reveal. Whether it's January, February, or March, we're right before reveal that people are going
November or September
or November or September going to be clout chasing a little bit.
2026.
Now, the legit leaks always happen closest to reveal, but also it's the prime time to clout chase.
It's also the Odyssey experience.
Absolutely.
So we gotta be careful. Like even this guy, like that might be a real doc thing. But what if it's a prototype for something that never came out?
Yeah.
Mm.
You know, like that it could be a prototype for an old product from years ago that we just never knew about. So there's a lot of things that we have to be careful when we talk about this stuff, because the only thing that seems consistent is like those third party accessories and what the design is, and but that's all coming from one 3D scan. What if that 3D scan was of a prototype from 2023 and not a final product?
Switch Pro.
Yeah.
Because conveniently, that 3D scan seems to match up a hell of a lot with the leaked prototype from October of 2023. So it's like,
Mike, I love that you said Switch Pro because if this stuff is all incorrect, I love the idea of finding out like, oh my God, the Switch Pro was real and everything that we's seeing here was what that was going to be. I think would be
Julia would freak out if it actually called
That would be.
Switch Pro. She had a bet with me for 6 months that it'll be called Switch Pro and not Switch 2. I'm like, no, honey, that's
Can you imagine?
Yeah, we are past the Switch Pro stuff, honey. That's not happening.
Yeah.
Everything says Switch 2. She's like, yeah, and because it does, it's fucking Switch Pro.
Can you imagine if we get that?
And
that
I have a massive punishment that I have to do on live stream that you guys don't even know about if it is Switch Pro. You guys want it. If you're in my community, you want it to be called Switch Pro just to watch what happens.
Can I move everybody?
The thing
Well,
is,
I don't think that
leader Zelda save file, and then she accidentally did it anyway. So,
yeah,
So,
no,
punishment.
in no world do I think the next Switch console is going to be called Switch Pro. I just think it would be funny if like these leaks were leaked prototypes of what was to be a Switch Pro that was scrapped.
Sure, that would be crazy too.
Yeah,
Can
that'd
you-
be pretty wild.
Can you imagine if they actually called the Switch U and they use the same exact U
I
format?
swear to fucking Christ, Mike.
Can you imagine?
This is like the fourth thing you said today. I want to reach across the screen and just slap you silly.
Let's make it happen.
First, we're going to use the really expensive ferrofluid patent. Now we're good. Oh my god! The next thing you know, Mike, is it a 10-inch OLED screen now?
No, it's an 8. It's an 8.
But it's still OLED.
Yeah, it's a LCD.
Okay.
Mini
Oh no! Now you have a mini LED. Okay, it is an LCD type. It would be cool if it was that, but
Yeah.
I don't think it is. It's probably still edge lit. But who knows? Who the fuck knows? Who knows what Nintendo? I want it to be mini LED.
Well, what do you guys? Mike mentioned earlier about that patent about the electromagnetic analog sticks. How do you guys feel about that? Because I don't know if it is something that's going to be part of Switch 2. I hope it's a feature that you could turn off because I don't like the adaptive triggers. I like
it have to be.
It feels like I'm breaking my triggers. I love the DualSense rumble. I like, when HD rumble was first introduced, I saw a lot of potential with it. Obviously, the tech could be improved. I love to see a 2.0 HD rumble in those Joy-Cons that's more akin to DualSense. But I feel a little bit weird on the analogs giving resistance or coming to a complete halt if I ran into a wall.
Yeah. So according to the patent, according to my calculations, it is a feature you can turn off. On and off.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a haptic feedback that you get from this electromagnetic technology thing that once it's shocked with electricity, it's liquid, and once it's shocked with electricity, it turns into solid. Depending on how much power you give it, then it'll kind of make it harder and harder to kind of move the joystick. But it's a thing.
Hey, do you guys remember that arcade game? The Addams Family arcade game with Fester, and you put your hands on it, it'll like shock you.
Yep.
Yes.
I don't know why.
Yes,
I just thought of that when you were talking about the stick and you're telling me.
When lightning hits me in the next Zelda game, I want to be electrocuted in real life, baby.
That'd be so cool.
I want to
I want
feel
to
it.
be like a stun gun. I want to be on the ground. Just come on,
Foaming from the mouth.
in the
like
game,
this.
Nintendo. If Link is flopping, I better be flopping because I got hit too, baby.
I want to be able to put on like a vest, and I know they have it for VR, but I want to be able to put on a vest where I can like feel pain if my character's feeling pain in the game.
Yeah, there is a vest. There is a vest you can feel pressure.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Well, I tried one on for VR once, and it was a boxing game, and I'm like, yeah, okay. The CP that comes in and hits me in the gut, and I'm like, oh, what the?
Yeah, that's what I want.
It hurt. I quit. I'm out. If I want to do real boxing, I'd go into the ring.
That'd be so much fun.
That is funny, man.
And I got another question for you guys because this is one that I don't hear people talking about much, but I've thought about this quite often. The Joy-Cons on Switch 2 are obviously different. The console's larger. It has according to the leaks, it has the electromagnetic technology with the extra buttons. It is not the same device. So to call it just a Joy-Con would be confusing to consumers, to parents. They buy, Switch 2 Joy-Cons. Their kid has a regular Switch. They don't have the Switch 2 yet.
Magnetorheological fluid.
That was Mike, I
Who
believe.
is that?
What was that?
That's what it's called. It's called this.
Magnetorheological fluid.
Are you sure that's like correct?
That's so unsettling. That's so unsettling in my ears.
Magnetorheological fluid, MRF.
It's spewed in my ear and I can't get it out.
So I feel like there's two possibilities. I coined, like 2 years ago, I coined a name for new Joy-Cons when I thought there was going to be a Switch Pro. Pro-Cons. They're the new improved. They're bigger. They're more ergonomic. Pro-Cons. Rolls off the tongue. It's a good name. Maybe they keep that. Or would they just call it the SwitchCon 2s? Which... or the Joy-Con 2s. Sorry, not the SwitchCon. The Joy-Con 2s. Which I don't think is a good name.
If they're smart, they're gonna get rid of the Joy-Con name altogether because that's gonna attack. I'm married to Drift.
Yeah, that's true.
Give you something different, like Pro-Cons. Get rid of the Joy.
Yeah, I think Pro-Con's a great name.
Or just Magnetocon. Magnetocon. Something with Magnet.
Dude, I'd be stoked if it was called the Switch Magneto.
Yeah, Magnecons.
I like
Magcon.
Hold on.
Magcon, yeah. Joy-Con.
Oh, maybe this will make you like that. Maybe this will make you like the dock a little more, Game Bird. Hold on. Check out this.
Wow,
it makes me like it a lot more. No, that is a pretty cool.
Game Boy inspired, baby. Even the battery location, same place. There's no battery in the top. Just saying. Game Boy inspired, baby.
Where did that picture come from? It looks
Nintendo Switch 2 subreddit.
It looks different in a different angle.
Yeah, they just flipped it to the left.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. Game Boy, baby.
It's very rounded. The back part is very rounded when you put one.
It was very rounded the whole time, Mike.
Yeah, well now I can see it better.
Now you can see it, but I suppose you have like a quarter of one eye.
Yeah.
Like literally, I'm not actually making fun of them. Like that's just
half of the half.
Yeah.
Look,
I just thought that was funny though. Like, I want to see if Gabriel likes it more now.
Yeah.
Now it's a throwback.
It helped a little.
Does it make you? What
it loosened me up to the idea, I suppose.
Look.
Sometimes.
Did it look. Remember, we're talking about the Nintendo that this was a real thing back in the day.
Wow, dude. I mean, it's true. That wasn't it. The logo wasn't it because it wasn't invented back then. But yeah,
that wasn't the logo. That was a fan made thing. But they legitimately owned a Love Hotel. I'm just saying, this is the Nintendo we're dealing with, and they still won't give us Earthbound 3 into the United States. Granted, the Love Hotel was also in Japan.
I'd really like them to add, and again, this is I like all the stupid, superficial stuff. I can't help it. But I'd love for them to bring back from the Wii era, not the same color. You got to change it up, but that kind of LED, the blue LED on the disc drive, but do that on the edge of the dock where the Switch is going to slot in.
I would love
have it glow.
Yeah, that would be sick. I know they sold like official accessories where you could like put it on a thing with a faceplate and then it would like glow. But man, it would be really cool if it just like did that naturally.
Yeah,
it's a little different. It doesn't have to be crazy or super bright,
just to give it a little glow. Man,
control sticks, like some of the third-party controllers have.
So you talk about like the LED lights, like LED lights around the controller.
Yeah, well, you want that like on the edge of the dock. Like around.
Yeah, you know how the Wii disc drive had that blue light that would kind of pulsate on it? Yeah. I'd love that on the edge when your Switch is docked, that edge is glowing.
It goes and then if you pull the Joy-Con off, it goes and it goes the opposite direction.
Yeah, absolutely. And they could do blue and red on each side. It's like the magnet color, like do something
the color
like
of the Joy-Con.
Or like you said, have something on the front faceplate. What the little Switch icon with the 2? Maybe that has a soft glow.
Yeah,
You know, that would be like
light
it would
logo
just give it more personality. I don't know. It's stupid
I
stuff that
what if
doesn't
the-
matter, but
what
I
if
like
the
it. And it's
personality- What if this
Nintendo.
is their personality?
Am I gone again? I'm back.
Yeah, you're back. Maybe this is Nintendo's personality. Because like we're just simple, we're sleek, we're obvious. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel anymore. That feels like Furukawa, if you think about him. Numbers guy,
Yeah.
an accountant. Very
Yeah.
simple, very obvious, very why broke what ain't broken. Like why
Why broke? What ain't broken?
try to change what Switch is or what it looks like or do this bold thing that might appeal to teenagers? That might be off-putting to the simple life adults that like to buy this stuff.
Why buy a new bed when your 10-year-old bed is still
You
good?
might go, well, you can just have it turn off. I'm like, yeah, but sometimes, like there's a reason.
I don't
like,
think
people-
anyone's gonna be like, if I knew this thing glowed at night, I would have never bought it. You know, I don't think
Yeah,
anyone's
yeah.
gonna care about something like that.
Yeah,
I
some
mean,
people
your
think-
PS5 glows.
Yeah.
Your
sure.
PS5, the edges glow. You know, when it's in sleep, it glows yellow. When you boot it up, it glows blue temporarily. Then it has
That's
the
why a lot
white
of people
glow.
stick it in a cabinet so they don't gotta look
I
at
want I want
Yeah.
my Switch 2 to have its own personality to talk to me, to give
Oh,
me
there
advice,
you go.
to say, hey, Mike, what do you want to play today? What do you want to play today? I want to play a game that I haven't played
You
before.
walk into the room. Good
That's
morning,
like
Mike.
Zelda, but it's not like
Put
Zelda.
the clothes on and come play video games.
Yeah, I wanted to organize my library. I wanted to talk to me. I wanted to recommend games.
Oh,
I
of course,
I wanted to what?
I know you would really want all those features.
I
It would
wanted
be
to
great
talk
for you.
to me and tell me that who's online. Okay.
I want it to tell me it loves me.
Nintendo
Yeah,
Prime
yeah,
has not gotten off
exactly.
of Tears of the Kingdom in the last 28 hours. Would you like to voice chat him quick and tell him he's insane and go to bed?
Not only that, but I'm gonna go back to Thunderstash. His points on games that could come back. I wanted Nintendo to create a new IP called Love Hotel, featuring the AI.
Man.
Think about it.
So January 8th, real or fake? I think that's what we were actually on. I have no idea.
Hey, you know what? Something we need to factor in with January 8th is CES is January 7th through the 10th.
Ooh.
Yep.
That's a thing.
Nvidia's there.
Yeah,
That's the biggest thing is Nvidia likes to talk.
I love CES.
And they would like to brag about something that's going to make them a lot of money.
Well, yeah, they can brag about it the next day if they
Yeah.
announce
So
it.
I'm thinking.
They can even do it same day if they know it's being revealed that day.
Mm.
Hey, revealed earlier today. Let's talk about the tech inside Switch 2.
You guys watch CES? Nate, I know you do.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
I watch
love
bits and
that.
pieces and then catch up with some of the news from there, but I don't watch it like religiously where I'm checking out
Yeah.
everything that's going on there.
Yeah, I just watch like a tech tubers that stream reacted. I just
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been
Okay.
watching it since like so many years ago. This channel I used to watch before.
it's good for memes. If you love the old school E3 cringe, oh my
Oh,
I love it.
Yeah, and I do.
level of cringe. I'll just say right now, Nvidia's presentation, just watch. It is nothing but pure cringe. If you love cringe,
I love
the
that.
CEO of that company says the dumbest shit. It makes the most stupidest like
He's trying-
analogies you could think of.
Listen, he tries to be He tries to be what Steve Jobs wasn't in
Yeah, he
stage.
tries to sound like he tries to sound like he's this brilliant, like about to say something that blows your fucking mind. And it's like the stupidest fucking thing you've ever said. And then when he tries to prove it in a video, it doesn't work.
No, dude, you're
And
not.
you're like, what is going on?
You're not Tony Stark, dude. You're not Tony Stark.
And yet Nvidia is like, one of the biggest companies in the fucking world right now. Because like, at the bottom end, it doesn't really matter what he says. It matters that people keep buying their shit to get work done. So, so their technology works. It's just the way he presents it, man.
Yeah.
He thinks he's Tim Cook. He thinks he's Steve Jobs, but he's not. And he's very bad at pretending to be. And it's hilarious.
I'm looking. Last year, NVIDIA had their stage show on January 8th.
Yeah. What day is it this year?
I'm looking right now. I just Googled it and I
know
saw
there's
January 8th,
media only-
2024.
We have media only events, I think, on the 6th and 7th, but that's not the public one. So I'm curious when their actual presentation is. Watch, it's on the fucking 8th.
So they can actually just drop the trailer, right? The trailer. And so it's public so they can talk about it.
NVIDIA showcase it says from 9 to 6 on the 8th. But it
Oh,
also says that for Tuesday. Monday's the keynote, Monday night.
Of the
okay.
8th? Of the 8th?
The 6th. January 6th is the keynote. But they have presentations every day, it says. I'm on their website. They have presentations every day, but the keynote is on this. So if they're doing presentations every day, then any day they could talk about it if they want.
Yeah.
If they want. Obviously, that would be a partnership with Nintendo because they're not going to say it until Nintendo says it.
Mm-hmm.
Man, pretty wild. I mean, again, we don't know that anything is going to be said at CES. We don't know it's even going to be revealed that week. But it is interesting to think about because like the whole world is kind of waiting on the reveal. And I don't mean like the whole world literally is, but like the whole like gaming tech side stuff. Like NVIDIA wants to talk about and brag about it because it's their technology and it's the only gaming device featuring their technology that isn't a PC. There's no other handheld featuring their technology. It's just Nintendo. There's no home console featuring their technology. It's just Nintendo. So they want to brag about it. You have all the third parties that are just, let me tell you, just based on what I'm talking to, they want their shit revealed for Switch 2 so fucking mad. Like they're like bursting right now. Like they just want to shout it out. And the games I've heard, it's insane. Like third parties are just begging for Nintendo to get this thing revealed so they can talk about their games and start marketing them. Obviously, gamers are very, very curious about this, even in general, not just Nintendo gamers, all gamers. Because again, Nintendo's dropping a system in the middle of the PS5, Xbox Series gen. Technically, arguably, according to analysts, it's actually the first next generation device. So its competitors, they feel, are the PlayStation 6 and whatever Xbox or anyone else does in that gen. And right now, we have DFC coming out and saying that Switch 2 is the only guaranteed successful next generation platform. Which is wild.
Yeah.
Considering that Nintendo has never been back-to-back successful. And they're just out here being like, nah, Nintendo's the only one guaranteed to be.
Urukawa.
And they're saying, whoever gets their system out first after Switch 2 will probably be the one to be also successful, but only half as successful as Nintendo. And I'm like, this is coming from a company that's been analyzing the industry for 30 years. And they're like, yeah, no, Nintendo's the only one. We've analyzed the market. Nintendo's guaranteed. Like, they're lockstep. Nintendo literally can't. It's impossible for Nintendo to fuck this up. Yeah.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
I know, but that's what they're basically saying. Like, it's impossible.
Yeah.
80 million units they project to sell by the end of 2028. 80 million!
I mean, it makes sense because they are releasing a more powerful system that is basically the same one that is currently successful, bringing in third-party developers who lost the first train and are getting in on the second train. So all these third-party people are coming up. Then we have the 120 million people who are currently on Switch right now wanting the next Mario, Animal Crossing, Splatoon, Mario Kart, all these games on Switch 2, which is not going to be on Switch 1. I mean, it's done. It's like, all the pieces are there. Nintendo cannot mess this up. All they gotta do, release the system, release the games, bring third party in, good promotion. Don't call it Switch U.
Here's how Nintendo can mess it up. 1, a really stupid name combined with batteries that explode and they don't deliver a single good selling game that anyone wants for 2 years. Hello, Wii U.
Switch U?
Except the batteries weren't exploding, but I'm just throwing extra in there because it'll have too much momentum from Switch that people will still buy it. And then the battery explodes.
It happened with the Galaxy.
It happened with the Tab, some sort of Samsung device.
Galaxy Note Tab. 5.
Yeah, that thing was blown. That's what I'm saying. It would have to be something catastrophic, I think, for Nintendo to fail. And Nintendo, they've hit the cadence. Game every month, regardless of what it is. A couple system sellers a year, 2, 3. Yeah. It'd be nice to have more than that during the launch year. Third-party AAA support's coming. Nintendo thinks that's going to be a big boon for them, because they didn't have that full support on Switch. They feel like they're going to have it this time, so they think that's going to be a big boost. They already have all the indie game support.
Yeah.
Just do what everyone wants, Nintendo. Make a better eShop, please.
And Joycey just mentioned this now on the chat. They already have an incredible library of games moving forward to the Switch 2.
Literally, you have the whole library of Switch 1 already there day one. But you go to the eShop day one and you're already loaded with thousands of games at your
You don't have to worry. Oh, I haven't played this game yet.
I finished my launch game. I finished Metroid Prime 4. Okay. Check your back catalog because all your Switch games are there, buddy.
And your save data on the cloud.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also you got to bring over some of that Splatoon. To Nintendo, find a way with Animal Crossing and Splatoon in the future, please, to like let us have backups and not just console saves, please. Please, Nintendo, work around all the things you're worried about with cheating and all this other shit. Dude, people cheat in Animal Crossing anyways. They're always fucking with the clock. Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
I know you gotta worry about it in Splatoon, but look, the data should not look. Splatoon has a single player mode. You should have that single player data be able to back up to the cloud. There's no reason you can't back up single player data to the cloud. 2, the multiplayer data, save it to your fucking servers like every other multiplayer game in the world.
Yeah, I agree.
When I log in on Fortnite, no matter what device I log in, it has all my shit. Because it's saved to their servers. I don't have to have it saved to mine. Save it to yours. Yeah, it's sorry. The solutions are there, Nintendo. Just anyway. The 2 games that frustrate me with that kind of stuff. Pokemon's a big stickler with some of that stuff as well. All right. I don't really think I have anything else for this topic. We can get to the Q&A if you guys are ready.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I think I'm ready.
Yeah.
I will just add that I didn't know who Sabrina Carpenter was. I had to look her up. I had no idea.
Have you ever heard any music?
Nope. I
Espresso?
haven't listened to anything since after the year 2000. I'm like literally not joking.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
We're on the same page. I just learned who Sabrina Carpenter was like a month ago from my
I know,
wife. She's
I
like,
know her
"You heard of
name.
Sabrina Carpenter. I was like, no, because I listen to mostly old
From the
stuff.
Disney Channel.
Yeah, I know her from Disney.
I figured maybe she's like John Carpenter's daughter or something.
If you have daughters,
Is she?
That'd be pretty cool.
I actually don't know.
That'd be pretty
Yeah.
cool.
So
Love me some John Carpenter.
Yeah, she came from the Disney
Right.
Channel stuff, and then
They live.
I only know 2 of her
Oh
songs,
my
but
gosh, I love that movie.
I have kids. I got to keep up on a more
Yeah.
modern.
exactly, like if you have kids, you know, because Disney and
Yeah,
the
I didn't know what to listen to.
100%. I get that. Yeah.
So I'll get to the Q&A. Remember, guys, if you're watching live, if you just submit super chats, get your questions in. We have some lined up already here. We have a member chat came in and said, how you doing tonight, Nintendo Prime? Dude, I'm flying.
Tell them how you're doing.
I did that Switch 2 topic. If I sounded okay, I don't think you understand. During that 3-minute intermission, I went and popped a caffeine pill, and then I also popped a depressant to bring me down a little bit. And then I just sat there and I'm like, just focus, Nate. This is what you do. You are Switch 2. You are fucking Switch 2. I had a pep talk and I'm like, put the facade up. It's business time. I think I did okay.
You did good.
I think I did okay. But I don't know that the depressant worked that much. I'm pretty fucking high. Thank you guys, by the way, for enabling this on this show. But not just 712. Favorite and least favorite snow/winter/Christmas level area in a Nintendo game. So favorite and least favorite.
Interesting.
I'm gonna say my favorite is that peak of the mountain in Mario 64 where you could chuck the penguin off.
Yeah, me too. I'll go with that one too.
My favorite. Least favorite is probably what's that one course in Mario Kart where you keep getting frozen every time you touch a snowman? I don't remember what course that is. Chat, you got my back on that. What course is it where you get frozen with the snowman in Mario Kart? I hate that level. I cannot make it through without touching a snowman. It happens every time. Freezy Peak. I think it's Freezy Peak. Is that it? Whatever it was, it's that one. That's my
Frappy Snowland. Frappe.
Is it Frappe Snowland? That might be. Let me look it up.
Frappe.
Frappe Snowland. Snowlandia. Oh yeah, that's the one. Yeah, fuck that one. I really don't like that one. All right, that's mine. That was easy. Both Mario related. Gamebird, you got anything?
For favorite kind of wintry themed, I'd probably go with, again, you know, big Zelda nerd. I'd probably go with what is it? The snowy temple in Twilight Princess.
Oh, that's a good one.
I forget the name.
Snow
Oh my
Peak.
gosh. Yes.
I'm gonna go with
Yes.
I'm gonna go
I
with
love that
Wave
one.
Racer. Wave Racer.
Wait,
Wave Racer. I'm
What?
in Florida. There's no snow here, so it's winter. It's almost summer all year. So Wave Racer for me.
so jet skiing reminds you of winter.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's no really. I mean, it gets cold here, 30 degrees once in a while, but it doesn't really snow. No whitening.
People out jet skiing when it's 30,
Yeah, you can.
but are they?
People do, yeah.
Yeah, people are crazy. We're in negative 50s taking our shirts off at Packer games. So.
I also
This is-
love that this is used in more than one world, but in I think Mario 3D World, when you get the ice skate power up, is a lot of fun. It's always a blast. for me.
What's your least favorite?
I don't know. I'll do another Zelda one. The Ice Caverns in Ocarina isn't my favorite. It's probably one of my least favorite parts
Yeah.
in that game.
Yeah, that one's kind of.
My least
Not-
favorite
not
is the dumb penguin inside that Mario 64. You have to race him on that thing.
Oh, I love that.
I like
Knock
that
me off.
too.
And I love throwing the penguin
it's
off
janky,
the
but-
ledge.
I literally named that as like my favorite area. And he's like, I hate this area.
Yeah, I love that area.
I like the world. My favorite thing is to do is to take the little penguin and knock it overboard.
Yeah,
Yeah, everyone does
My
that.
least favorite thing to do is race that penguin inside that place there.
I love racing it. I love racing.
yeah, it's so much fun.
But I get it.
But-
Stash, what do we got?
I think I gotta go with Mario 3, World 6, Iceland.
Oh,
The
yeah.
music in it's really
Okay.
good too.
yeah. Good choice.
Definitely Super Mario 64 though is right there. I really love the ice level. And honestly, the first thing that came to mind for annoying ice levels is actually the Arctic track on Wave Race Blue Storm. Super annoying.
Absolutely. And I saw some requests in the chat for us to talk about like the games we're most looking forward to in 2025. Guys, we literally have a podcast on the first. Come on. Stop spoiling topics for it. That was clearly going to be one of the topics. We got to know what
Yeah.
we're looking forward to game wise. All right. Let's see here. That was a good one. Thank you so much, Fanatis. Miguel Lopez says, I'm getting off topic. By the way, it's a Q&A. You're never off topic in a Q&A. Will Crash make a comeback?
I think we crashed, burned.
Well, they made the Crash Team Racing. They have the Crash 4.
You know what happened to Crash? He appeared in the Game Awards last year. Or wait, the first year of the Game Awards. No, not the Game Awards. The first year of Summer Game Fest in 2020, he appeared in Jeff Keighley's house, and he was never seen again after that. So he knocked on the door and to present Crash 4, something upside down or whatever. And then after that, it's just so if you want to ask somebody after Jeff Keighley, probably knows where he is, probably in the basement somewhere, like asking for lotion or something. I don't know.
I think Crash will get one more game. And they'll give it one more crack.
I'm
I
gonna
think
say
Crash
I
will be
guarantee we'll get a Crash Bandicoot game in 2026 for the 30th anniversary. And Crash Bandicoot 4 sold extremely well. And so did the Crash trilogy.
And like
Yeah.
the first game that Toys for Bob's doing is an independence for Microsoft.
They did.
Yeah.
Did they cancel Crash 5?
Well, so the studio that was doing all the work, all the recent work, doesn't work for Microsoft anymore. They let them go, but they let them be an independent. They just let them be free.
Yeah.
But they also gave them their first contract for game. So they let them go, but they also gave them a contract to. So it's Toys for Bob. They'll probably keep making some as long as it sells good enough. Microsoft will keep giving them contracts.
Mm.
So
That last Crash game was good too.
Yep.
Pretty solid.
do you think it's going to happen?
Yeah.
Gamebird?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Crash will
I think there'll at least be one more crack at it. And if it sells well again, they'll keep going. Let's see here. Demonic Brawler says everyone thought the Switch Lite show was fake. That's right. We looked at that one earlier. Thank you so much for that. Remember, guys, it's called the Switch Attach controller.
No, please no.
We're
No,
bringing back
no.
the YouTube poll, baby. Switch Attach.
That'd be horrible. That would be the worst.
It was a bad name. When it was
I will close my channel if that's That's the name.
You'll close your channel if that's the name. Remember, guys, you still got a small window here to get those super chats in. We have another one in from Demonic Brawler saying Nintendo Switch successor will not be mentioned. Well, that'd be hilarious if we get to January 1st and they drop a tweet, Nintendo Switch successor will not be mentioned in the month of January. And we're like, oh.
That would be cool. I would like that.
Or they just announced
what? That kills the hype for the month, but hey, now we start building towards February, baby.
Exactly. Yeah, that would be great.
What if they announce
will be mentioned this month, but you know.
What if they just announce a full they announce like a 40-minute Nintendo Switch Direct? No mention of Switch 2, full Switch Direct, full length.
That would be hilarious. That would be so funny. We just get a big, beefy Nintendo Switch Direct. Everyone's like, what the fuck is going on?
I'll be happy with that because what
is happening? And they do it in January before the rumored Direct in February. Yep. And then we get to February 4th. They mention nothing from that Direct and they give us another detail on Switch 2. And we're like, what the fuck is happening?
Yep. The January Direct gives us a release date for Prime 4. Confirmation of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess coming.
Pokemon.
You just ignore the Direct happen because nobody gives a shit about Switch. Hey, you guys want to hear about Switch 2? Here's another feature for Switch 2. We'll see you again next investors meeting in 3 months. Like, what the fuck is happening? Tell investors one thing, publicly market something else. All right, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, those are phases. Those phases.
Oh my God, I'm gonna die. All right. Next up, this is the last super chat we have at the moment. We're going to get to the poll results after. It says, I hope a white dock is again available. Slick. Hell yeah, dude. I might not be at launch, but I think someday when they do like the OLED revision or some sort of mid-gen revision or refresh, hopefully a boosted, pro model would be cool. But whatever they do, yeah. I like the white. It would be cool to come back with one. I don't think it's going to be there at launch.
They need a gunmetal dock, do that cool electric sound with the magnetic controllers and it's gunmetal.
What the fuck just happened? I don't know.
I was so sick. That's the boot up. That's the boot up sound.
Sounded like someone from The Sims there. Maybe a Murloc. Maybe that's a Murloc from World of Warcraft. What is that? That was just like gas out. I don't know. All right. So before we tap out here and do our little round of advertising, we got to see the results of the poll. Now, I've been in the lead the whole time, but I did something earlier just to see what happened. I took off the holiday hat. I figured the hat was winning me some bonus points because it was a holiday hat, and I even changed the hat
poll is so rigged.
So it showed I had 2 holiday hats ready to go. And obviously, it's already a little rigged in my favor.
And you're the host
because it's my own channel, right? So I wanted to see what happened if I got rid of what is obviously holiday. Because the problem with this sweater is I got to back up for you to see what's going on. So, you couldn't really tell what the sweater was the whole time.
And I got good old Tom Nook. Come on, look at Tom Nook. He'll steal your money.
Mike Odyssey is literally wearing a Nintendo-themed ugly sweater and did not perform well.
That's okay.
He didn't perform.
This should have gotten me some votes.
But Gamebird, you should have worn that.
And you guys also can't see how cool my shirt is unless I were to zoom in.
I realize that I am the
Hey, look. I'm going to move my mic too so you can see it. Yes.
Yeah. Look at that.
Oh, look at this.
That's pretty cool.
Look at this.
He's going way in. He's trying to sway both. I think, did I end the poll? I ended it.
Look at this, guys. You got the training montage scene here. Apollo scene. This shirt is amazing if you are a Rocky IV fan.
I realize that I am the least popular figure in this podcast.
Hold on. Gamer was trying to show off the full.
Mike, I'm a nobody on this podcast.
Gamer, he was trying to show off the full Nick Cage. I got to give him that full Nick Cage experience. Come on, let's go.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me see if I could show off.
This should have won you instantly.
Everyone's it's obviously.
We didn't know. Put a new poll up. All right, we'll do a new end of poll. We'll do a new end of poll again. I'm just gonna put us all in it as we're all presenting now. You got the Nick Cage. Get the poll up here.
And let me just say, remember, I am wearing this because today is Boxing Day, guys. Boxing Day. Rocky 4, come on. Nothing is more
Yeah, that's what
synonymous
everyone's
with
missing out
boxing
on.
than Rocky.
All right.
And another thing, these lapels, you can't tell, but they're velvet. So that should have got me some points, but obviously, unless the audience gets to feel it with their own fingers.
All right, so you got to show off. Mike, you want to give them the full look at that sweater? Here we go, buddy. Whoa, or you could just vanish when I try to full screen you. Classic Mike. I go to show you off and you vanish. Here you go. Yeah, give him that full look, Mike. Sell him on the look.
Ugh, look, I got muscles.
The nook look.
Here we go. Yeah, look at him. He's all smug and everything. Oh my god! All right, we're done with the body rub. Oh my. I'll just, I'm gonna throw this on. I'll go full screen quick.
Ready?
Here, hold on. Oh my god! See, he's got to bring up the banana again. This is my look, and then does my hat work?
Trying to get the sympathy vote. Okay, that's makes me uncomfortable. The jiggling.
All right, shut up. That thing is so annoying.
Is it stand up where you're excited?
There's like an elf inside it, like yelling at me. Oh my gosh. There's a reason that I don't like keeping that thing on. It's very warm. It's very uncomfortable. It's funny for like 2 seconds, and you're like, all right, shut up, dude. Oh, man.
I'm doing that. My body is ready dance for you guys.
Mike Odyssey's dominated. Well, we'll give it a moment. It's only been a minute. Let's let the poll go. So the original poll was 43% me at 474 votes. I was 43% me, 33% Stash. And I don't even know if they could tell what the shirt was. They might have just been voting because the collection's so sick back there.
I think it was the bird call. The bird call just wins it all, dude.
And then the Mike Odyssey with the 19, and then Gamebird. He's trying to win you with the Nick Cage right now. You guys might not have been aware if you just popped in. He's trying to win you with the Nick Cage. Let's see what we got here.
Brutal. I got thrashed, dude.
Well, I mean, you're doing a little bit better in the second poll. But you're still getting thrashed. I'm actually starting to get. Oh my god! Everyone's gonna vote me below Gamebird. I'm telling you right now. Me and Gamebird are competing for last. This is tight. I'm gonna let this poll go for a bit while we do our outros here. Mike, we'll end the poll. We'll end the stream with that. Mike, what do you got going on, and where can people find you?
Well, my body is ready. It's always been ready. So is my ugly sweater, and so does your vote. I approve this message. And so, Mike Odyssey Monday through Friday, Nintendo news videos. Podcast is beginning up again on January
3rd.
And January 3rd.
Yep.
Yeah, January 3rd. So we're almost there. With the Nintenbyte Podcast with Joyce, who's in the chat, Paul Gale Network. We got Lily Hyrule, and we also have Zach Hendricks and on the podcast. So we'll be back there. It'll be fun. New show, new year, season 4. And also, you can also find me at It's Not a Bird, It's a Plane. It's Superflix, which, by the way, is doing pretty well. Superflix channel is kind of doing better than my own channel. Like, I had a video that I guess is going viral, 15,000 right now and counting. Me reacting to the Superman trailer. It's all about superhero movies. So if you like superhero movies,
don't sell yourself short. 16,000.
Well, yeah. I mean, last time I checked, it was 10,000 this morning. So if you like superhero movies, I have a second channel called It's Superflix with the CK with the X.
You might have found the go-to there reactions.
And so yeah, I'm just kind of doing shows there and stuff like that. Yeah, there might be a new music video coming up soon for when the Switch 2 is actually announced, featuring the Nintendo Switch 2. and I might call some other friends to help me out with it, like Nate and Stash and Classic,
Down. I'm trying to find your channel, so it's Super FLICKS.
Yeah.
It pops up if you just type in Superflix.
I see it. All right. Subbed. I'm subbed. I want
Thank
to
you.
check this out. Yeah.
I think
Thank you.
I think I subbed already because you popped up in my feed.
That's
And I was like,
cool.
oh snap, he's got it. So I think I already subbed. Yeah, I actually watched your Superman reaction trailer.
Yeah, I mean that I just started that week and a half ago, and it's going pretty well. So I'm
Hell yeah,
happy
dude.
with the channel. So
Super
Heck
sick.
yeah.
thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Make sure you check out the man with the bouncing DVD logo behind it. It's not a DVD logo. It reminds me of it on your TV.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just bouncing
Yeah.
around.
Yeah. Classic.
Gamer, what you got going on, and where can they find you?
You guys can find me at GameBird Classic here on YouTube. Channel's been a bit quiet lately. I've had a lot of stuff going on, but I was telling the guys earlier, I'm planning for some big stuff in the new year. Obviously Nintendo focused, but if you guys are familiar with my content at all, you know I love to throw in a good skit or a fun bit in there. And I want to say to Mike, because Mike released the greatest Switch 2 music video of all time recently. I feel I released the greatest Switch 2 trailer of all time. So we definitely got a collab on this since we both do the bits. And if you guys haven't seen my Switch 2 trailer, watch it because it kicks ass. But yeah, you guys can find me there. Expect a lot of Switch 2 content once that stuff drops, and expect some goofy, weird, and creepy skits along the way.
Mm-hmm.
We could be the next Keel and what's the other guy? Peg?
Key and Peele.
Peel?
Key
Peg.
and Peele.
Or Peck. I like Peck. I am the Birdman.
Give me the bag. Before we get the stash here, a couple super chats to get too quick. So people added in here. We got Taker610 dropped a $5 saying no sequels to Mario Galaxy or Odyssey. The surprise will be a sequel to Sunshine called Moonshine.
I love it.
Yeah.
That'd
You
be
guys know I got to live stream that whole game while drinking some moonshine, baby. Let's go. Oh my God. Oh, that's funny. That's a good one. And then Boo Mini coming in with the 5 saying, will Nintendo give us one Zelda game in 2025 or 2 games where one's a brand new and another is a rollover, like Wind Waker or Twilight Princess? I think it's going to be one.
Wind Waker.
Could be Wind Waker. Could be Ocarina. Could be Twilight Princess. Could be something else entirely.
Listen, it'll be Wind Waker, and Twilight Princess will be remastered for the Switch 2 in 4K. Pin it or clip it or
Flip it.
flip it or flip it.
Hold me to this shit when it gets revealed next year. All right. Thank you so much, Boo Mini. Yeah. Gamer, do you got anything you want to say on it? What do you think's gonna happen?
Yeah, I think one game. I think it's likely. I think the
You can be
2025
honest,
is
it's a goose
likely a
egg.
port. Yeah, I'd love for those rumors to be true about Ocarina of Time, though. I'd be so happy. I'd
think
love
it's
to.
I just don't know if it's next year.
Right. That's the thing. But man, just imagining that game being redone on modern hardware, beautiful visuals, orchestrated soundtrack, one of the best soundtracks in gaming. Think of all those theme songs from all the places. Oh my gosh, it'll be so good.
Yep.
Add in the voice acting like we have now in modern Zelda games. Beef up the story a little bit, give a little bit more meat to the story. I'm all for it.
All right, Stash, what do you think?
Some chicken legs.
Yes, I think we get a Zelda in 2025. I think Wind Waker is a really good candidate for Switch because it still looks great.
Yeah.
And I think Twilight Princess would benefit more from Switch 2 with 4K assets.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more on that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
There are times where I look at the GameCube version of Wind Waker and I think it looks better than the HD version, even because it has that true Saturday morning cartoon look to it.
Yeah. All you got to do is touch up the font because the fonts in the game are blurry. The fonts, the UI, which, there's ways to do that. And it looks fantastic, let me tell you.
All right, Stash, what you got going on? Where can they find you?
You can find me on YouTube, of course, at Thunderstash Gaming, and I'll be working on this again. This is the Retroid Pocket 5. If you guys want to look it up, I'll be doing a review on it. It's very nice OLED screen there. And in case you're wondering, I did pick up custom buttons that I'll be installing on this. So yeah,
That's cool.
it'll look very nice. Super excited about this. It's a very powerful handheld. And I can't wait to tell you guys all about it because I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff on it.
Show the back of it again. That right there will be an amazing addition to Switch 2. See how that for ergonomic reason it just comes out just a little bit on the back, so you can actually hold it well. That'll be great if they, it doesn't affect too much the Joy-Con when they separate it, but adds just a little bit bump on the side so that you can hold it better. Be cool. It'll be cool.
Yeah. Very cool. I'm super excited to check this out. And it's going to take a while to get everything set up the way I want.
Is it just handheld or can you dock it?
Got the dock right there.
Nice. Good.
Yeah. There's some stuff I'm really looking forward to playing, like on the big screen, stuff that I would normally like play on my computer monitor. But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing. I'm sure you guys can guess at some of those things, but I can't talk about everything that I play, obviously. But yeah, I'm super excited for that. But what I'm really working on first, as much as I want to do this, is finishing Metaphor. And I'm so close. And, it's almost 11 p.m. right now. Man, part of me wants to just, as soon as I'm done, go turn it on right now and maybe screw up the sleep schedule. I'm so close. I'm saying? Like, I'm just close. So, that's the next thing, though, is that. Then it's Indiana Jones. Then it is Dragon Quest 3 HD. I'm a little behind, man. These RPGs, they're hefty.
Dude,
I'm 130 hours in on Metaphor. Yeah, it's nuts, especially if you try to 100% it. And occasionally I do. The game's really good. I want to see everything the developers created, that they intended for us to, see and experience. That's what I usually do. If the game's good enough, if I'm really enjoying it, then I want to see it all. So yeah, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. But yep, keep an eye out. Hope to have a video out soon with all that stuff there.
Awesome, yeah. And I am
You're a sip.
thirsty. I am Nintendo Prime. You guys know what's up. Lots of Switch 2 videos all the time until this thing's revealed, and then we get to talk about the games. Pretty much what's going on, unless Nintendo gives me reasons to talk about Prime 4 again or Legends EA again, which Legends EA will probably get something in February. Prime 4, whenever Nintendo decides to give me something to talk about with it. But everything at Nintendo really feels like it's on pause till the reveal. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully coming up here within a few weeks, or maybe it's longer. Who the hell knows? Except Nintendo. So until then, I already, as an example, I have more Switch 2 leaks to make videos on tomorrow, probably more the next day, and then other rumors, and then other bullshit. I want to talk the games. That's really what I want to talk about. If you guys watch my channel throughout the majority of my channel's existence, I've been talking about games. But we just don't, there's nothing, Donkey Kong ain't doing it for me. And Xenoblade Chronicles X is great, but I beat it on Wii U. Can we I need some games. I need some games to talk about. Yeah. Please. I know you're holding back. I understand. It's all we need to have this massive blowout reveal that's going to have a shit ton of stuff and get you excited. Fine. Just show me.
Yeah.
That show is pretty cool. Silo, have you watched it on Apple TV?
Which one?
Silo.
I don't know if I've watched Silo. I've watched that one. Severance.
Oh my God, Severance is awesome. Yes.
Yeah, there's a new season coming, or it's coming soon. New season. Yeah. So the new season of Squid Games just came out. No one spoil anything for me. I'm gonna be watching that soon. It's the only foreign show I actually watch because they wear masks most of the time. So really
the what we call it? The
Squid Games.
Well, I saw this first season. What the heck is this?
Yeah, it's crazy. I can't wait to see what season 2 does. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. This has been a great show. You can follow the podcast on all of your audio podcast listeners. The show is always up the day after. the live version. So if you want to catch it live, it's usually 8 p.m. on Wednesdays. This week was a day delay because of Christmas, but no delay next week. It's New Year's. We're doing it. We have Nick with No K coming on. And we have an absolutely packed January right now. Yeah, Mike's coming on like once or twice, maybe every week. I don't even know. He told me on every week.
I'll probably be here every week.
Yeah, I mean, the way that no shows happen, who the hell knows? But he's at least scheduled for one or maybe two. I don't know. We got HMK, we got Gamebird coming back on here in a couple weeks. Heck, it's the 8th. You know what the 8th is right now? It's a rumored possible reveal date. Just saying that would line up very well. Not that it matters because we do an emergency podcast anyways, but it would be cool if it happened to be on one that I already have guests scheduled for. So that'd be kind of neat. But yeah, we have HMK coming on next month. We got Jake Randall coming back on his
Cool.
first ever episode of Nintenbyte Podcast. He's coming on next month. Your guys' favorite Mario Party and Pokemon shit talker, Favlam.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's coming back on as well. The Geek Apprentice is finally coming back on after having her baby, so that's exciting.
Nice.
Game Junction popping back on, and I think that's it right now. I don't know. I got a couple other DMs I got to sift through. There might be some other people I'm forgetting.
You know what?
I'm overpacking January, so things like this don't happen where I got to call Mike and be like, "Hey, Mike, fuck, man, what are you doing tonight?"
I tuned into Jake's.
I got your back, bro. You know I got you.
I know.
I tuned into a few of his live streams when he was doing the PS5 Pro.
Oh yeah.
30th and all that, because I hadn't seen any of his videos before or anything. That was entertaining, man.
He is.
It was really fun to watch. Like I was just going there, like I was doing work, but I had his stuff on too, and it was just entertaining. I don't know, but I enjoyed it.
Super family friendly for a bit, and then out of nowhere,
yeah,
inappropriate.
Yeah, and I'm like, what? Yeah, there was definitely moments like that. It was cool, man. I enjoyed it. So that'll be fun.
My podcast is usually just inappropriate from start to finish. I think it's a channel. But,
right?
Yeah, a lot of people are looking forward to Jake coming back. He was the co-host of the Nintendo Prime podcast for a year, so a lot of people miss him that he hasn't been on yet. But hey, I talk to him every week, guys. We keep in touch on what's going on in his life. He's just a very busy guy, but he's back to YouTube, so he wanted to come back on the show. Maybe he'll start coming on once a month. I know some of you guys have seen him pop into my live streams here and there as well because he's more active online now. So, so we have him coming on, and there might be some more people. As I said, I think Hoops and Hip Hop hit me up for one of the days. I think it's a day I might need someone anyways, so I think that might actually work out. So yeah, we're and that's just for January. We got to get into February still, and and beyond. So it's exciting times. I can confirm Roger's base is planning to come back on. Granted, it's going to be a while, as it always is to get him in the schedule.
When's Andres going to restart?
Good question. I keep inviting him, and he keeps being like, no comment. Hey, man, have you seen the latest on Switch 2? Yeah, have you? Hey, so about my podcast, when do you want to come on? Just ghost me. That's why I'm calling you out, buddy. Ghosting me. You could just say you don't want to come on. It's okay. I'm not offended.
He's stuck in a loop.
He's just busy. I know he's busy, and he doesn't want to give me an excuse.
Yeah, he's living Groundhog Day.
He's living Groundhog Day. Now he'll be back on. I think he right now is in a holding pattern until Switch 2 is revealed. He wants to hit it hard with his channel, but he told me he kind of hinted that he'll come on once we're kind of past that initial wave of stuff, which I get. He's trying to make it into a full-time career. I get it. He's got to focus on his channel. But yeah, Hoops and Hip Hop. That was the other one that hit me up that I have to get on the list. What day did he pick anyways? I'll tell you guys right now. He wants to be on the 29th. Hell yeah.
When's RGT coming on?
It's a good question. I always extend him an invite.
We're fellow 85ers.
Yeah.
I think we get along well with him.
I mean, he got along pretty well when we had him on the Nintendo Prime podcast. Was it Halloween last year? But I don't know. He's got his own podcast that he does.
Yeah.
That sometimes conflicts, but they don't do it every week. So it's like, I've invited him to come on. It's whether or not he wants to make the time for it. He does he likes to poke and make fun of me.
Yeah,
do it on the show, baby. Come do it on the show. Be the Jake Randall of the show and just make fun of me the whole time. All right. Maybe he's trying to wait for this thing to be revealed because he doesn't want to come on and make fun of me the whole time.
Yeah, possibly.
Or he just has too much fun doing it on Twitter and in his videos. Dude, that stone cold look he did when the outlet said reliable YouTuber Nintendo Prime, and then he stared at the camera for like 8 seconds. I'm like, okay, I don't know why they're quoting me. I'm not the source on any of this shit. Like, I don't even know why I'm referenced in the article. Damn. But he's a funny guy. Me and him have always gotten along. He's a straight shooter. So, but yeah, he's pretty busy. So we'll try to get him. I'd like to get Josie Woe back on as well. She's on that podcast.
Yeah,
she hasn't been on the Nintenbyte one yet, and really anyone on there. Like I've invited Nate to Hate to come on. You know, he's declined every time, but you never know. You know, he's never straight up said like, "Hey, you know, I'll never come on." Just doesn't fit the schedule. I'm like, that's all right. I get it. You're busy. We're all busy. That being said, guys, you can try the Nintenbyte Podcast everywhere that podcasts are heard. We also have a Nintenbyte Clips channel that has been getting some clips. We're going to be getting more clips. And my goal is to have clips go up every single week in 2025. I'm actually going to be potentially hiring someone to like help me make sure that actually happens because I'm clearly too busy. Especially when Switch 2 gets here, I'm going to be way too busy to necessarily keep up with the clips. But the clips are really easy to make. It's not hard. It's just actually doing it. It's a very easy thing to do, especially because shout out to who is it? Is it Raven? Somebody? They're putting timestamps on all of our podcasts.
Oh,
like
cool.
Time. They come in
nice.
the next day and they put time. So like it's actually really easy because you're told the exact timestamps to cut. So thank you for whoever that Raven person is that does that. I do notice you. I do appreciate you. Obviously, you know, I end up pinning your comment almost every week. So thank you for doing that because obviously for me to listen back through a 3 to 4 hour show to put timestamps in is pretty hard. So because I got a lot going on. But anyways, that's gonna do it. Go subscribe to everyone here.
Somebody's asking about the poll.
Oh, fine.
Oh yeah. What happened with that? I didn't even look.
So sick of this bullshit poll.
By the way, Mike Odyssey pulled ahead right at the end. It was Thunderstash like the whole time.
Oh, congrats, Mike.
5 minutes.
Thank you guys, appreciate it.
Don't even let me end it. I think my back end froze. Let me refresh.
I want to use these eye drops as like my trophy.
Yeah, I can't see the results. Where did I land, guys? I'm just curious.
So the last time you were at 4%, right?
Yeah.
This time you're at 5%.
Oh wow! Thanks, folks. You're too good to me. You really are. I really appreciate it.
There's only 79 votes this time. So I could argue the original poll is what matters most. Only 79 votes. But Mike Odyssey won with 34%. Stash with 31%.
Nicely done, Mike.
I came in at 29. I'm actually surprised. I think if I would have kept the winter hat on, I might have took the lead. But you know, it is what it is. I didn't keep it on.
You know what? Just because of that, I'm gonna do a giveaway.
Now?
Next podcast I'm in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which your next scheduled one is, let's see. That's a ways away. That's scheduled. That's scheduled.
I have a Nintendo Switch Lite Zelda edition with the 12 months of online membership plus.
Well, shit.
Back.
Now everyone's gonna be like, he better be coming on the first. He better be coming on the first. I'm gonna get people begging for that now. Oh man, yeah. Joyce's like, I'll remind you, Mike, that you're giving it away. I'll remind you.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna forget. I'm not running the giveaway. I mean, I can run it, you know, just general in the chat, but you know, I'm not the one managing it. All right. That being said, yeah, I think that's it for this week. That's it for 2024, guys. Next time you see this show, it's going to be a new year.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be a lot thinner because I'm doing the Ozempic, and in 10 weeks I'll be like 20 pounds lighter. I'm kidding.
Well, it's not quite that quick, but yeah, something like that.
It's
Something like that. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
see you guys next year.
You know what?
What was
We
that?
might as well, just because Mike is here, we might as well just end it with the song. Come on.
Every day I wake up waiting out the door. Nintendo news I can't ignore. Hovering my finger on refresh, repeat. Search searching for the leak. My heart's gotta beat. My body is ready for switch 2. Can't wait much longer. What about you? Standing in line just to hear something new. Nintendo, come on, give us a clue. Rumors flying, but nothing confirmed. It's been a mystery, my patience burned. Gotta level up with my imagination in this endless game and stimulation. Whoa, my body is ready for switch 2. Can't wait much longer. What about you? Standing in line just to hear something new. Nintendo, come on, give us a clue. All we want's a peek, a hint, or a sigh. Just a little nod won't make us cry. Joy-Cons at the ready, hearts in sync. Nintendo dragging on, making us think. We've been resetting time and time again. All off the Mario, it never ends. Zelda's gathered from the nether horizon. This weight is harder than fighting in us think. My body is ready for switch 2. Whoa, 2. Can't wait much longer. What about you? About you? Standing in line just to hear something new. Nintendo, come on, give us a clue. My body is ready. My body is ready. My body is ready. My body is ready for switch 2. My body is ready. My body is ready for switch 2.